They're all made of wood.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, October 31st, 2021. This is your award-winning Gimmo Nation Media Assassination episode 1395.
This is No Agenda.
Copping my 26th field and broadcasting live from the heart of Texas Hill Country here in FEMA Region number 6 in the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where it's Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Trick or treat. I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Here I was thinking we would be the first show not to do some kind of spooktacular Halloween reference.
Before you played the fat lady, you said spooktacular.
Yes, I know. I said it.
So that put it in my brain.
So it's my fault. Okay, you got it.
It's always your fault, dear.
I understand, honey. We know how it goes. We had the Hollywood, the top Hollywood executive and his wife here yesterday, and they stayed over last night. Since we're now,
in the guest bedroom.
Yeah, we're a destination now.
So, was there any hanky panky?
Please, no. Gosh, of all the things I was going to talk about, that didn't come to mind. Thanks. No, this is. I've discovered, since we're out here now, we're a destination. Now our friends, especially the rich friends. I think that rich people, they stay at each other's houses all the time. I didn't realize this.
Yes, they do. Not all of them, but a lot of them resist the idea because they think it's gauche. But it does bring to mind something that's necessary for you to complete this thought.
Okay.
Landing strip.
Well, the Gillespie County Airport is only 5 minutes away, so that would work. But if we're talking a flying car or a VTOL, yeah, I'm good to go. I'm prepared. You can
Chopper pad.
Well, Laura Logan has the chopper pad.
Yeah, but still, that's farther away than the airport, isn't it?
No, Logan is down the street.
Oh.
Yeah.
Take a right.
Anyway, the reason I bring it up is because they know a lot of people in Republican circles. They're total conservative Republicans, which is interesting since he's a Hollywood executive.
Yeah, well, we know a few.
Yeah, we do. And they were talking about Tucker Carlson and told me how he prepares his show. I know. We've always been kind of curious. And now it makes sense. It makes kind of sense, some of the topics that he uses. So apparently his process is he sits in his sauna in the morning and just watches people send in text messages to him from around the country, around the world. It sounds a lot like our system, except
without the sauna.
Without the sauna, yeah. And then he gives that to his producer. See, this is the big difference. Then he says, okay, here's the stuff I think is interesting. Here's what I've heard. Let's do this. And then that's how they put the show together. So it seems quite plausible now that, maybe there's some crossover. Maybe some No Agenda producers sometimes text him.
It could be.
And they said text.
He's got some writers too that obviously.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course he does. Of course.
And they put the thing together pretty well.
Yeah, using our topics.
There's got to be one guy who's really key.
Using our topics. Yeah. That's how. Yeah.
See what these guys these boneheads are talking about. We'll talk about it.
So this Let's Go Brandon, I think, has caught storm. It's cooler than I thought it would be.
It's out of control.
Now, remember, I said this would have legs, and I
don't remember that, but it definitely has legs.
Yeah, okay. You were skeptical. I won't say you were against it. You were skeptical. But it's so don't make me get the clip. It's so perfect because Let's Go Brandon is so not vulgar, so not insulting. Yet I think in Scandinavia, you're not even allowed to publish it anymore. Scandinavia, of all places. What do you guys care? And
so now everyone whose name's Brandon and actually wouldn't mind hearing "Let's Go Brandon," now that's like verboten in Canada.
Yes. And there was a South.
What's wrong with those people?
So there was a journalist on a Southwest flight, and when I don't know if it was upon takeoff or landing.
Landing.
Oh, so you heard? Do you have a clip of this by any chance?
No, I know the story, though.
Yeah, that the pilot signed off with "Let's Go Brandon," and this journalist lost her crap and was like demanded to see the pilot because I'm a journalist. I need to know why you did that. I guess they almost kicked her off the flight.
They should have kicked her off the plane while it was in midair.
But it's real. It's interesting.
Now it's become a big stink. Did you just see the Matt Taibbi piece?
Which one?
The Let's Go Brandon
No,
piece.
I did not. No, tell me. What did he write?
Just came out.
Uh-huh.
And, of course, he condemns CNN. It's the CNN people, a bunch of ex-spooks, as he defines them. And also they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're all bent out of shape. And so his point was, hey, well, they're saying let's go Brandon, getting people bent out of shape. What about the people who literally said, fuck Trump?
Yeah.
And then they extolled their virtue. Yes, that's more like it. We're telling the president the truth to power.
Yeah. But what
he gets he goes a little nuts on these people, but it's just like, well, yeah. It all began with the pilot.
And what
who they want to get fired now.
Oh, of course. What we didn't see with the F Trump stuff was, this phenomenon, and again, it was tipped off to this because the executive watches college football, is really like into it, checking the scores during our dinner.
I'd be one of those guys.
It's fine. You are one of those guys. What do you mean? You came to our pre-wedding drink. You came to the house, said, "Hey, how's it going? Does this TV work? I got to see the score." You sat down right away in front of the TV.
This is true.
Yeah.
I wasn't watching TV. I was just checking the scores.
Here's 100,000.
I have no idea why. It's not important.
Here's 100,000 college football fans this weekend. God. Holy crap, man. That's dynamite. That's a lot.
You can hear that's a lot of people.
You never heard that for Trump. That's what's interesting, because I think young people, in particular, they're just dissatisfied. They don't hate Joe Biden. They're just dissatisfied. They're like, let's do it. Let's say fuck Joe Biden. That makes me feel better.
Well, they're according to Taibbi, the networks are freaked out about this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In what way? They're afraid that it's like a Baba Booey
over the air.
It's like a Baba Booey. People are going to be doing it everywhere.
Well, they say that because of the woman who did the Let's Go Brandon commentary, the one that
the original,
the original, the OG Let's Go Brandon.
Wait, do we have that clip? Didn't we? Let me see. Let's go.
Yeah, I think you do.
Was
you
it
do have the clip?
Yeah. Where is it though?
Was that a NASCAR race?
Yes, no, I know that.
No, I'm just stalling. I'm helping.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I don't think we have that. How can that be?
Maybe that's because it was. It's like our labeling issues.
Yes, there you go. I'm just looking at Brandon. You'd think that would be there somewhere, but no, no such luck. Here it is. I found it. I knew I would find it.
Thank you to all of our partners. Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to...
I thought you had a better copy than that.
Might have, yeah. That's Brandon Brown, Talladega class winner. That guy goes down in infamy too, as the guy who
he does. They can't even say his name in Canada.
But it's so cool because you catch yourself, like I'm walking the dog this morning, like, and the dog's sniffing around, like, come on, let's go, Brandon. You can't help yourself. It's just too funny. You actually amuse yourself with this. But as Scott Adams pointed out, what kind of evil glitch in the Matrix, and I said it, is this? Because Let's Go Brandon, the hashtag LGB, I mean, could it get even weirder?
Yes. That song, you have a song for at the end of show mixes. The LGB song is quite...
Oh, yeah.
Very good. Along with the
Foreigner.
Foreigner guy.
Mm-hmm. So...
Well, other than the Brandon thing, what else is going on? Well, you didn't finish this. That's all he had. Anything else to say from the executive?
That's all since he's a current executive, I can't tell.
Yeah, I'm sure there's stuff you can't talk about, but
yeah.
No good gossip? Was there anything? No?
Nothing I could talk about. No. But in general, no, not really.
Yeah, probably.
Not really. But other than, a lot of stuff about industry vaccine mandates and how that's hurting the industry. For all of their stuff. Hello?
Yeah, I'll bet it is.
Oh, there you go.
Did he get any, what about Baldwin gossip? He could talk about that.
No, I didn't have any.
Oh.
No. He's also, they came from Brooklyn, so, he's just now about to purchase his first gun, so he's had to get over some humps. And yeah, I understand. People who have not been accustomed to firearms are very, very freaked out and cautious.
Training.
Yeah, well, that's what he's getting. He's getting the training, and his trainer's going to go buy it with him and all this stuff. And so, yeah, typical. Well,
they used to have gun safety in high school in the United States of America.
I know. Maybe start with this. Boots on the Ground, a great deconstruction from producer Matt, who said, I've been looking at these CDC studies they keep referencing about vaccines preventing against severe disease and death. And the CDC themselves linked to 28 studies which, show different things, but they claim here that 2 of these studies show outcomes related to fatal disease, and one of those shows 0 deaths for either vaxxed or unvaxxed. And he kind of dove into these studies, and this is very misleading, the way that they've presented this data. And it seems like no one but one lone no agenda show producer has decided to dive into it. By the way, both of the studies that claim to speak about the outcome of severe or fatal disease, both of those are from Qatar, which I find interesting.
Yes, I've heard about the Qatar studies.
Yeah. Now, 89% of the population of Qatar is not Qatarian. They're expatriates. So they could be from all over the world. I'm not sure. Anyway, study number 1, which by coincidence has reference link number 33. Just always got to pay attention to those things. This is the fatal disease does not actually even mention unvaccinated people. It compares outcomes of people who got the vaccine split, whether or not they end up with a positive or negative PCR test. So the website speaks to fatal disease. 0 people die in the unvaccinated group. And they have this flow chart attached to it. 7 people were, and this is where it gets tricky, 7 people were excluded because they contracted COVID-19 after the first dose and before 14 days after getting their second dose. And 4 because they didn't get to, quote, fully vaccinated, meaning they didn't get to 14 days after their last dose before the end of the study. Any of those 11 people could have died, of course, but they just excluded them from the study because they didn't have their second or they were within the 14-day course, which is what we saw previously from doctors saying this. But this is actually their data.
Huh.
So they have, they just omitted a bunch of stuff and said, see, it's safe.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's science.
I think they had to do that to get this thing through.
Just
Ever
science.
since we're talking about the data, I got the Pfizer data, kids update.
Ooh.
You're basing everything on Pfizer, so let's go with
the kid's data. Yeah, you got it.
Well, the data that Pfizer submitted to the FDA shows the vaccine was 90.7% effective in preventing symptomatic COVID-19. And there were also no serious safety concerns in the trial, which included over 4,000 kids. Although I should say a very rare side effect like myocarditis wouldn't show up in a study of this size. Still, federal health officials who spoke to reporters yesterday say they are confident this vaccine is safe and effective for kids.
Confident. Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, they're confident.
Confidence.
That's all it takes. Now, which clip was that you played?
Pfizer kids data?
S&E?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see there were 2. Okay, yes.
You played that one?
I played the S&E, yeah.
Okay, well then play the uptake one.
Selena, recent polls show that only about a third of parents say they plan to vaccinate their children right away. What kind of concern is there about that?
Yeah, I mean, uptake was slower than expected in the 12 to 17 age group when they became eligible, and some public health officials think uptake might be slow in this group too. Acting FDA Commissioner Janet Woodcock was asked yesterday about parents who may be wanting to wait until other children have gotten vaccinated, and here's what she said.
As a parent, and if I had young children in this age group, I would get them vaccinated now. I would not want to take the risk that they would be one of the ones who would develop long COVID, who would develop a multi-system inflammatory syndrome or have to be hospitalized from the virus.
So far, more than 8,000 kids in this age group have been hospitalized with COVID-19, and nearly 100 have died, which is more than die from influenza each year. Pediatricians I've been talking to do recommend vaccination right away. For parents who aren't sure yet, who have questions, they suggest connecting with a trusted medical professional to help think it all through.
Where was this from, this report?
NPR.
Oh, that was actually more detailed than CBS.
Tonight, the FDA authorized the Pfizer vaccine for children ages 5 to 11, saying it was nearly 91% effective in preventing COVID. A CDC advisory committee is expected to decide Tuesday whether to give the final green light, which would clear the way for more than 28 million children to begin receiving shots as soon as Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. And what is this uptake bullshit that NPR lady was talking about? What does that mean?
Well,
uptake. I mean, it's flatline and it's not even
I
budging?
think it's a new word. I think it's a new word.
Okay.
And it has to do with acceptance or, the percentage of people that will actually do it. They mentioned stuff in that report like long COVID.
Yes.
What kids even get COVID, let alone get long COVID, which is something of a myth. I just found the whole thing. I have one more report about the kids and the this is another one called 5-year-old Vaccine Update, and this is on PBS.
Let me see, 5-year-old. Oh, got it. Number 5.
The Food and Drug Administration formally recommended Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for young children. The CDC makes the final decision next week on the lower dose shots for 5 to 11-year-olds. Meanwhile, thousands of New York City's police officers, firefighters, and others refuse to comply with today's deadline to get vaccinated. They'll be put on unpaid leave starting Monday. In Illinois, a federal judge refused to block vaccine mandates issued by state and local authorities. Some workers there had sought a restraining order.
I have some stuff on that as well, but I just like to go back to the new words that you were talking about. Uptake being a new word and long COVID. Check this.
And Merriam-Webster Dictionary is out with this year's crop of 455 newly added words. They range from TBH, an abbreviation for to be honest, to super spreader, to fluffernutter, the sandwich of peanut butter and marshmallow cream. And for fathers who eat too many fluffernutters, there's dad bod.
All right, let's look at some of the new words, and there it is.
And I had that exact same clip that you just played.
Oh, really?
And it's like we're going to go look at the new words.
Yeah.
And I will say they just picked the top 3. When you look at the press release, this is the first 3 words on there.
That's all they had to do. Yeah.
Yeah. This is how lazy the media has become because there's some funny words in here.
Well, let's look at the coronavirus words first. There it is. Long COVID. Right off the bat. New word, we played it, and right away it's in the dictionary. Definition, a condition that is marked by the presence of symptoms such as fatigue, cough, shortness of breath, headache, or brain fog, which persists for an extended period of time, such as weeks or months, following a person's initial recovery from COVID-19 infection. So, it's a thing, whether we believe it or not. Vaccine passport.
Now the question, I see vaccine passports in there. Which is your fave?
No, it's not. But
how is vaccine passport a new word?
Thank you.
Isn't that a phrase?
It's not. It's not. Why would it be a new word?
This is in the Merriam-Webster website itself. They're saying these are new words.
A physical or digital document providing proof of vaccination against one or more infectious diseases, such as COVID-19. But then there's also super spreader. Now, I think this is a new word.
Yes, because it's a word. It's actually a word.
They do hyphenate. It's an event or location at which a significant number of people contract the same communicable disease, often used before. So, like, how about hysteria? Often used before another noun, such as in super spreader event. The term super spreader originally referred to a highly contagious person capable of. Oh, this is a change. This is interesting. The term super spreader originally referred to a highly contagious person capable of passing on a disease to many others, and now can also refer to a single place or location where many others are infected. So they have an old usage. And then
typhoid Mary would be the old usage.
And then again, two words, breakthrough medical. Oh, breakthrough. It says breakthrough medical. No, just breakthrough. Category medical. Infection occurring in someone who is fully vaccinated against an infectious agent, often used before another noun such as breakthrough cases or breakthrough infection. I'm
going to go on a couple.
You have the list?
Off of COVID. I have the list in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
From words from online culture and communication, I thought were besides TBH. Where's WTF? Maybe that's already been accepted. But this one gets me is because.
Yes.
Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
It's very interesting because instead of using the word in a traditional sense, which is, is a connector word that because of this or that.
Yeah.
You just say because.
Yeah. But now how can we use it differently these days?
Well, because.
Oh, got it.
I just did.
That's it. I'd like am I right as a new word.
Am I right? All one word. AMIRITE.
Mm-hmm.
Who uses it? Well, that reminds me now, there's a couple in here.
That's a social media thing.
Yeah, I think I've heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Digital nomad, by the way, I found would be peculiar.
Yeah, deplatform. It's not hyphen. Finally, that word never has a dictionary entry, and now hopefully it will. And the definition is to remove and ban a registered user from a mass communication medium, such as a social network or blogging website, broadly to prevent from having or providing a platform to communicate. That sounds pretty evil that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I agree. Now, here's one that got me, which is copy pasta.
Oh, brother, I didn't see this one.
I don't know what this means. Copy pasta is a data a data processing term, supposedly. It's been copied and spread widely online. It means something's been copied and spread widely online. Copy pasta can be a highlighted meme, or it can have more serious intent with a political or cultural message. I have never heard this word. How is it now a new word? Have you ever heard it?
No.
Is anyone in the troll room? Have you guys heard this bull crap word? I think they make these up and put them in just to see if we were paying attention.
Let's see. All the time. Okay, boomer. Oh.
Okay, well, you're going to get that.
There you go. No, it seems like a lot of people have heard about it.
I've never heard copy pasta.
You're just out of touch. Oh, thanks. Hold on. Let's kick that person out. Who was that? Mystic.
Kick him out.
Yeah, Mystic. We're kicking you out.
Here's a couple more off. Well, they have AstroTurf, which I thought was an old term that's long since been defined, but okay, we'll skip that. Whataboutism.
Yeah, that's another fan favorite.
And then Vote-A-Rama.
Vote-A-Rama. Jeez. How about small ball? Which I thought was something, some affliction you get. Small.
Yeah, small. Well, small. The other thing, okay, was small ball on here?
Yeah, small ball.
Yeah, there it is, small ball. Small ball, which is an old term. I'm surprised hasn't been on here before if they're going to use these terms. Small ball goes back to Billy Ball in the 70s, I think, or the 80s, when Billy Martin was the manager of the A's, and he was a master of playing small ball. And it's a type of approach to baseball where you just nickel and dime people to death with, bunting and squeeze bunts and steals left and right. It's not new. It's not even used anymore much. Because nobody plays that kind of baseball anymore. They go with the Let me
read the definition. An offensive strategy that involves at-bats that advance one or more base runners into scoring position. In basketball, a game strategy used on speed and agility of players as opposed to height and physicality. Or, in general, a strategy for progressing towards a goal by proceeding in small steps or by addressing small matters. Oh, like our exit strategy is small ball.
Yeah, very. That's why nobody else uses it.
Exactly.
They do use small. They actually, small ball in basketball, yes, has been a more recent term ever since Steph Curry's actually the one who the 3-point shot created this situation.
Let's get back to the news, other news, as this one slipped by. I don't understand where it came from, but while everyone was talking about the kids and jabbing to kids, CBS had this.
There's new information tonight for those asking questions about natural immunity. A new study from the CDC found that unvaccinated people who recovered from COVID are actually 5 times more likely to get infected again than those who are vaccinated with Pfizer or Moderna.
Lies.
That means that vaccine immunity is far superior than natural immunity.
How about that? I mean, where does this come from?
No, this got a lot of play.
Where does this come from? This is another CDC study?
It's a bunch of lies that the CDC put together. People have looked at these studies of bullcrap.
That's crazy.
This is done to get rid of certain guys that are out there. You know, they're still working the kinks out of the giant mechanism they created here. And one of them is the people out there, especially a couple of the basketball players, who said, hey, I've had COVID. What do I need the shot for?
Right.
I've had COVID. What do I need the shot for? Okay, Bill, what are we going to do about these guys who say they have COVID and they don't think they need the shot because of natural immunity? Oh, crap. What are we going to do about that? Well, let's come up with a bogus study and say that they're going to die.
Wow. But I mean, okay. Well, I need to see this study and I need to understand how they can just be propagating this.
No, they're propagating
That's
it.
crazy.
This is to get the people who have had COVID to get them to take the shot.
Yeah. It's marketing.
Which is really suspicious if you ask me.
Yeah, it's marketing.
Well, I'm beginning to wonder now. This has gone too far.
What do you mean by that?
To come out with a bogus report that doesn't seem to have any basis.
What do you mean by you're beginning to wonder?
I'm beginning to wonder what they're up to.
How about killing people?
Takes me a while to begin to wonder.
How about killing people? How about population reduction?
Killing people. I've been kind of
killing
making this
people
assertion on and off.
Yeah.
And now that they've gotten to the 4th and 5th shots to the old people, it's like, geez, what does it take to kill these guys?
We went from 2 weeks to flatten the curve to this. So, woo, my head is spinning. Now, in the European Union, in Euroland, Netherlands.
Let's not forget the 2 weeks flatten the curve and bull crap.
In Euroland, things are kicking up again, and the same bull crap. I mean, they even have Pfizer sales guys now on television talking about how important the 3rd jab will be. It's crazy. I wish I could play it for you. It's all in Dutch, but there's been some great talk shows on the mainstream there. There's Pfizer guys in there telling people the shot's going to be great. The 3rd one. On Tuesday, there's going to be another big press conference because, we have this Corona Pass. Which allows you to go into restaurants, theaters, bars, nightlife, etc. You can show natural immunity, or you can show that you have recovered from it with a doctor's certificate, a note, vaccination, of course, and negative test. And there's people in lines all day long to get negative tests for these, because I think the uptake might not have been as great there as people portend. So now they're talking about, maybe, we should have separate rules. If you're not vaccinated, even though you're negative, maybe you just can't go out.
Good.
Now, the members of the European Parliament, a couple of them, 6, we didn't play this. Actually, they've already done their second briefing now, so they're still alive, which is good to see. I think one from Ukraine, a couple from Germany. I'm not quite sure exactly where all these folks are from. They have no power. They're in the European Parliament. They're there to warm the seats, sadly. But they do have a voice, and they're getting these press conferences together. So they've done 2 of them. And I have 3 clips. Here's the first.
Well, thank you so much for being here again with us. It's been a week since the last conference that we had in Strasbourg, where we raised deeply concerns about what was planned to be happening in the parliament, specifically the decision of the Bureau of the leaders of the parliament to strip pretty much the staff, our assistants, and ourselves as directly elected by the European citizens. All these people to be stripped of their fundamental rights. The right to work, the right to decide as they want to do with their own bodies. And nevertheless, in our case, the right that we have and the parliamentarian immunities that we have as elected by the people, not to be influenced in any way when we do our mandate. So each one of us who are present here, and many of us are at home supporting us. You know, we have this pandemic situation, you know, a lot of us, because of all these measures, are at home, but they are all behind us. So we are again here today to express exactly what happened. Each one of us is going to present from their perspective what happened during this week in the parliament and what is the plan going forward.
So we have a couple of presentations. These are very interesting to watch. It's well covered. Even the audio is pretty decent. And this guy, I forget who he is, he's going to talk to us about the contracts that I believe Pfizer, but the pharmaceuticals, signed with different European countries and what the terms of those contracts are. So they did, obviously a European version of a FOIA request. And lo and behold, the contracts look like something that come out of the U.S. intelligence. Page after page just blacked out in its entirety. A contract where the people of the European Union are paying their money to purchase these medications. And he's not happy about this.
What we demanded, full access to the contracts signed between these companies that produce the vaccines and the European Union. The contract signed between pharmaceutical company and the European Commission in November of 2020 was made available to MAPS on Tuesday in a redacted format. And I will just show you the pages. These are the pages. You see?
They call this transparency these days.
So this is the fundamental principle, right, of democracy. I'm asking you guys, is this transparency? Do you see anything? Because we don't.
He's holding up black pages.
Wow.
Now
that doesn't make any sense. I can see why you get riled up. What's the blackout that such has to be kept a secret?
Yeah. Well, I think it's as we know from previous contracts, it's the collateral. Like, you got to give us all your you got a port. We're taking your port as collateral.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what it is. A bunch of very onerous provisos that need to be exposed.
The probably most influential person of these six is Christine Anderson. She's a German member of European Parliament for AfD. So, there's a lot of people that listen to her, and here is her kind of wrap-up spiel.
But it is not the goal that renders a system oppressive. It is always the methods by which the goal is pursued. Whenever a government claims to have the people's interest at heart, you need to think again. In the entire history of mankind, there has never been a political elite sincerely concerned about the well-being of regular people. What makes any of us think that it is different now? If the age of enlightenment has brought forth anything, then certainly this. Never take anything any government tells you at face value. Always question everything any government does or does not do. Always look for ulterior motives and always ask, cui bono, who benefits? Whenever a political elite pushes an agenda this hard and resorts to extortion and manipulation to get their way, you can almost always be sure your benefit is definitely not what they had at heart. As far as I'm concerned, I will not be vaccinated with anything that has not been properly vetted and tested and has shown no sound scientific evidence that the benefits outweigh the disease itself and possible long-term side effects, which, to this day, we don't know anything about. I will not be reduced to a mere guinea pig by getting vaccinated with an experimental drug. And I will most assuredly not get vaccinated because my government tells me to and promises in return I will be granted freedom. Let's be clear about one thing. No one grants me freedom, for I am a free person. So I dare the European Commission and the German government. Throw me in jail, lock me up, and throw away the key for all I care. But you will never be able to coerce me into being vaccinated if I, the free citizen that I am, choose not to be vaccinated.
I think we should get our Christine Anderson prayer candles ready. She's going to the gulag, man.
Well, definitely a troublemaker.
Well, she says, hey, don't trust your government. She's the government, but don't trust your government. You can never trust your government. I disagree. When the intelligence community in America comes out with a report, we trust it right away.
Peter Ducey, live in Rome. Peter, thanks. While I have you, what are we learning from this updated report about the COVID-19 origins? Came out late this afternoon.
Yes, it expands on that 90-day review of the COVID origins that the president ordered a few months back. And what they found in this 18-page update is one intel agency is saying they believe COVID came from a lab accident. They say they have moderate confidence in that. 4 other intel agencies say COVID came from exposure to an infected animal, but they have low confidence. 3 other intel agencies are saying they need more info. And the director of national intelligence has concluded they don't think China was making a bioweapon, but the DNI is concluding that unless China comes forward with more information to help them fill in the blanks, then we will probably never know the origin of COVID for sure.
Yeah,
we'll never know. We'll never know.
That was Brett Barr. I got a PBS version of that story, which is a little shorter.
Mm-hmm. Is that the Zeph? Did I hear a Zeph go by? Did I hear a Zeph?
No, that's what you're hearing was a run from about 40 motorcycles going down the freeway with no mufflers.
Cool. With the Trump flags?
No, there's no Trump flags in California. It's illegal.
Shit. Okay. What clip are we playing here?
It's under Wuhan again.
Yes, I got it.
U.S. intelligence agencies said in a report released today that they cannot conclude whether the virus that caused the pandemic leaked from a lab in Wuhan, China, or if it spread by animal to human transmission. But the report did say that if the virus leaked from the lab, it was likely an accident and not developed as a bioweapon.
Yes, they're really. It's important to point that out, I guess. Huh? Not a bioweapon.
So they made a point in both reports, and I think any report you're going to hear is it goes kind of like this. We can't be sure, but if it was from a lab, we're pretty sure that if it was from a lab, it was an accident. Wait a minute. Make up your minds here.
Yeah.
You're either, if you're not sure where it's from, but if it did come from a lab, it definitely was an accident. It wasn't a bioweapon. What kind of what kind of intelligence is this?
Well, it goes right on. It goes right along with the concept of vaccinated people are just as capable of spreading the disease to unvaccinated people, so therefore you need to be vaccinated. You know, it's like you can tell anyone who believes in this that there's logic that doesn't make sense. They're under mass formation, hypnosis. It doesn't matter. You can't tell them anything.
Well,
you can't.
There is an element at play here, which is the bioweapon element.
Yes,
because it was brought up. It wasn't like
it's not a mistake. There's no coincidences. They say it for a reason. What do you think?
I think, because it was financed it was our money and it was our original program. It came out of Fort Detrick, probably, and it was.
I got you. What you're saying is, we might as well plant the seed now that it's not a bioweapon for when it comes out that it actually was from Fort Detrick,
or was out of Fort Detrick designed as a bioweapon.
Well, no, that's the point. Is of course it was designed as a bioweapon, but once they hear Fort Detrick, they'll remember it's not a bioweapon. It's just an accidente. This shit happens, man.
So we were developing a bioweapon. Thanks.
Way to go.
Who got hit the hardest by it, supposedly, even though these numbers are dubious. But we still got hit hard, so looks like a bioweapon to me.
You know, I'll just say this for if you're talking to people and they're flipping out about mandates. By the way, in the UK, people are shouting, Nuremberg is coming, and throwing syringes over the fence of Parliament. It's nice.
Nice
touch. One. I think I think that could be. There's something with the syringes that we can do. And maybe we should have syringes printed on the side. Let's go, Brandon. I mean, there's all kinds of great things that could be done here.
Brandon is the best. Let's go and play. I got a few part clip here on the cops in this country and the mandates.
Okay. Cops PBS?
Cops PBS is the first. These are 4 clips, and there's a punchline. These clips a couple of them are too long, but they're educational.
In New York, this afternoon was the deadline for all city workers to get at least 1 vaccine dose or go on unpaid leave. It could mean several thousand officers may be on leave as early as Monday. As John Yang reports, in New York and other cities around the country, some of the loudest opposition voices belong to police union officials.
By the way, the executive and his wife, they were back in New York, and they took a trip through Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Yeah, Bedford-Stuyvesant.
They said it is unbelievable. That place is transformed. It is junk. It's dirty. There's trash everywhere, mainly because the sanitation workers are slowing down or stopping. It's a mess.
Oh, that's supposed to be garbage. The streets of New York are
horrible. Yeah.
A pile with garbage and rats.
Yeah, exactly. Having lived in New York, yeah, that is kind of funny.
It's very funny. It's happened before. David Dinkins comes to mind.
That's right. I remember him well.
So let's go to Cops.
I got Cops 2 NYC.
The problem is I have Cop 26 here. What Cop 26?
Oh, yeah. No, I see. We got Cops 2 NYC PBS.
Yeah, it would be it.
Carrying signs reading "My Body, My Choice" and "No Vaccine Mandate," thousands of people, including New York police and firefighters, marched across the Brooklyn Bridge this week to protest the city's directive.
Today is a day in which we, the workers of this great city, stand up to unreasonable mandates.
The mandate is one of the most aggressive in the nation. Mayor Bill de Blasio.
If you're a city worker, you need to be vaccinated. We are here to keep you safe so you can keep everyone else safe. We need you to keep everyone around you in the workplace safe. We need you to make sure that people who you encounter, the people of this city, the residents of this city, are safe.
Most New York City municipal workers are getting vaccinated, with the pace picking up as today's deadline neared. Today, officials said 71% of fire department workers and 80% of police employees have gotten at least 1 dose. Yeah. But the city's biggest police union continues to resist and is in court trying to block the mandate, calling it coercive and the threat of unpaid leave for not complying arbitrary and capricious. It prefers an earlier plan calling for weekly testing. City and state officials are making contingency plans for possible staffing shortfalls on Monday, the first day the leaves would take effect.
Now, a couple of things. Yeah. So these cops, and in Chicago too, which as the report continues, Chicago's brought into it. These cops, they worked from February of 2020 through January, almost a year with no vaccination available. And they got through it and they did their jobs and everything was fine. Now, all of a sudden, they have to get their I mean, what's the point? It's obviously they weren't catching anything.
These numbers of the 71%, 80%, I have a hard time believing that.
I don't believe it. I don't either.
And they get around it by saying at least 1. Yeah, I bet you there's a lot of people who went, that was not a good ride.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go for 2. So it's got to be, it's just got to be much lower. Anyway.
Well, whether it is or not, these guys are standing up for themselves.
Yes.
Something positive. Let's go to part 3 of this.
In cities like Seattle, San Diego, and Los Angeles, police unions have urged members to resist vaccine requirements, even though COVID has killed about 500 law enforcement officers nationwide since the pandemic began. That's more than all other causes of death combined.
We have a way to prevent those cops from dying. And it's been tested.
Former Boston police official Chuck Wexler is executive director of the Police Executive Research Forum, a policy development group.
Right.
Look, if they were getting shot or stabbed on the streets of America at the rate they're dying of COVID, there would be outrage. But instead, somehow this issue has become politicized.
The clash over vaccine mandates comes as police are under increasing scrutiny with a nationwide spike in the murder rate and incidents like the death of George Floyd. In many big cities, that's led to tense relations between elected leaders and police unions. In few places is it as bitter as it is in Chicago, where the mayor and the police union president have long been at odds. In August, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, elected on a pledge of police reform, ordered all city workers to report their vaccination status by October 15th or go on unpaid leave.
We're going to keep fighting this mandate and this dictatorship.
Police Union President John Catanzara took to social media to urge disobedience.
Do not comply with any direct order to fill out the portal. Period. It is illegal. They cannot do it.
The mayor called the position foolish.
But unfortunately, that's in keeping with the leadership of this fraternal order of police.
Yeah. Racist. Misogynist. Racist. Misogynist. Larry.
So the last clip kind of tells me a lot, and it's it finishes with Chicago and this and Beetlejuice woman.
Just everyone I know just says Larry. That's just all I know. It's always Larry.
Larry. So here we go.
By the deadline, almost a third of the city's more than 12,000 officers had not complied.
For the first time in my 21-year career, I disobeyed a direct order. This is very stressful for these officers, for myself. And, it seems that the city doesn't care.
But as union protesters gathered at City Hall this week, the city is giving most of them another chance. Only 27 officers have been placed on unpaid leave. The union president warns of the possibility of scores of police off the job.
I don't know how the mayor in good conscience can force this to go forward and risk sending half the police department home and subjecting the citizens of this city to that.
What I have concerns about is seeing more officers die needlessly of COVID-19. Again, you're all aware, we had 4 officers who passed away in 2020, every single one of them from COVID-19.
Interesting, she did not mention the officer who died right after taking the vaccine shot that we reported on the last show. You didn't see a news report.
Yes, but let's stop there. 4. It was mentioned in the report how many officers are on the police force. 12,000.
Mm-hmm.
That means 1 out of 3,000, a death rate. Mm-hmm. So for every 3,000 cops, 1 of them maybe died of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason for the mandate? Because is this dropping like flies to you?
No,
Are they dropping left and right? When 1 out of 3,000 in the cramped quarters of Chicago had a COVID death? This is what you should be concerned about? What kind of lunatics are out there making these mandates?
Well,
those numbers do not call for a mandate.
I have a feeling that it's about something else.
You're trying to kill us.
Yes, that's pretty much it. Other resistors, Ice Cube walks away from his movie deal, which $9 million for him. Way to go, Cube. And just in general on these mandates, anyone who here's what you could say to anyone who's like, oh, mandates are good, it's important. I say, yeah, you may not care about this vaccine mandate, but what happens if they want to mandate something in the future that you don't agree with?
Yeah.
Could be anything.
That's a mandate having your balls cut off.
Wow, that's actually coming.
It's good for the population control.
Hey, so shouldn't they have, clearly this is not working. Cops and certainly look, we're seeing all these people standing up and they're saying, no, we're not going to do it. If you and I were consulting, which we do professionally, the Creative Aura Consulting Group, for the Democrat Party and for the Biden administration, we'd probably say, yo, Brandon, you need some kind of release valve. They need to at least have a plan, don't you think? Just in case.
Explain to me in more detail what you're thinking.
I don't have an idea, but so this is not happening. So these cops are going to walk, the firefighters, the sanitation, everyone's going. A percentage certainly will walk.
Yeah, shouldn't they back off on this?
Right. So the backing off is
they've done it. They backed off in L.A. They've backed off in I think San Diego.
What's the back off in L.A.? What'd they do?
I think it was in L.A. They said too many people were going to. No, we're just not going to enforce this.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. Oh, that's good.
I think it was in L.A. Somebody's got to correct me on this because I don't know, but it was in California, which was what surprised me the most. I know that.
No, it's one sheriff. It's only one sheriff, apparently.
It was the sheriff's department.
Sheriff's department. Okay.
Well, that's the biggest part of L.A. police.
I don't know. So there you go.
The sheriff's department in L.A. is huge.
Was it the L.A. sheriff? L.A. County sheriffs, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a monster operation.
Okay. All right, so you're saying just keep up appearances and let it slip on the backside, not talk about it, because the media...
That's what they're going to have to do.
Media won't report it.
That's the way they operate.
Yeah.
I don't see the governor of California going after the sheriff's department.
That would be unadvisable.
I would think.
The number of U.S. traffic deaths in the first 6 months of 2021 hit 20,160, the highest first half total since 2006.
Yeah.
That's 18.4% higher. And
I believe it.
And I think this may be
driving around.
Vaxcidents, baby.
Vaxcidents.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a show title.
I think it's finally time to say that these might be vaxcidents.
Well, I think it has to do with for most of the year, they've had not enough patrol, and it's people driving like maniacs.
Oh, that's also possible. That certainly would help. But
I don't take one run on a Highway 80 pothole-filled Highway 80, which doesn't seem to ever get the road repaved, except in spots, without usually two kids, in rice burners, shooting by, one following the other.
Rice burners.
Going crazy down this road, cutting in and out and crossing the guy chasing him. It's some sort of a race. Yeah, I see it all the time. And yeah, you see them coming. And when one goes by you, like the maniacs they are, like 100 usually, when they go by, you have to be prepared for the second guy. There's always two, rarely three, but once in a while. But generally two guys showing off to their girlfriends, trying to get them all killed.
I'm going to have to get some, if I can, a breakdown of these numbers. I'd like to know how many single vehicle accidents there were. That's the one I'm interested in. Just people crashing into stuff. Because I've seen the reports.
That could be a accident.
I've seen the reports. I just don't know how much of this number it makes. Just a little point. Why don't we check in real quick with India? Since WION has done a report about Pfizer.
There is no other way to describe Pfizer's business practices. This is vaccine terrorism. Talking about common good. Wuhan virus vaccines are supposed to be a global public good. But what happens when a vaccine manufacturer starts bullying? Governments are silenced, supplies are halted, and profits take precedence over saving lives. I'm not describing a hypothetical situation here. I am describing what Pfizer is doing. The American pharma giant, it is doing all of this. It is bullying countries to submit to its demands. We first reported about this back in February this year.
They're bullying. They're bullying everybody.
I love that woman.
They're bullying.
That's a great report, and it's a fact.
Yeah, she's good.
I'm glad somebody's coming out with this stuff.
So
our media won't ever. No. Pfizer's great. Fauci's God. Ivermectin sucks. That's pretty much the the 3 talking points you want.
And the way our vaccine journey started was in 2009, 2010 with the financial news. And we were looking at, I'll just repeat it shortly, Goldman Sachs, I think it was, and they were all jacked up about the future of vaccines. And this, of course, although we didn't know it at the time, was, this mRNA technology is starting to crank up a little bit. They'd already done tests in the mid-90s. So this has been around for a while, and they were talking about
it never worked.
A vaccine, mind you, quotes, air quotes, to help you stop smoking, a vaccine against cocaine addiction, a vaccine against drinking, a vaccine against overeating. There's all this crazy stuff, and the best part is you can't get sued. So now what I'm decided to do is, as we come towards the next phase of this, which may be an end or doubtful, but I'm back at the financial press because that's where you're going to hear really what these jamokes want for their own pocketbook. And we've always had the Pfizer guy on, Scott, what's his name? Gottlieb. Yeah, the Pfizer board member, former FDA director. Yeah. Now we have the
revolving door.
Yes. Well, now we have the CEO of Merck. Now, Merck is not in the vaccine game, but he does have important news to share with us.
As you said, we did have an incredibly strong quarter, and it's really coming.
They had a strong. They did $1 billion more than expected, but what did they do that on?
Well, it wasn't ivermectin.
No, I don't know. They did $1 billion.
Maybe it was ivermectin. They're the ones who make it.
They did $1 billion more than expected, which is, that's quite a miss on the predictions.
As you said, we did have an incredibly strong quarter, and it's really coming across all of the pillars of our business. You've mentioned some of those, but within our oncology business, led by Keytruda, which grew 22% in the quarter. Our vaccines business, led by Gardasil, which grew 68% in the quarter. And then obviously our animal health business, which had strong growth at 16%. So really.
By the way, our friends are, the executive and his wife are vaxxed. And,
sure.
And I said, and
a lot of people are vaxxed. We have to.
And honestly, she said,
just stay away from them. They're shedding their exosomes. They're good. Those things are dangerous.
She said, honestly, I just didn't want the hassle. But she's very interested in learning more. And, gosh, what was the point I was going to make? And this may work for other people. I said, how about Gardasil? Do you remember that? I was talking about how you and I figured out what was going on and that big marketing scheme. She said, no, I thought that was a scam. I said, aha.
You thought that was a scam?
Yeah. Now, this is something that women,
that obvious?
But women, of course, are much more in tune with the scam that is meant for them.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. Yes, maybe think about it. I mean, I'm not shaming her or anything, but I think she was like, holy crap, yeah.
Led by Gardasil, which grew 68% in the quarter, and then obviously our animal health business, which had strong growth at 16%. So really, we are seeing the impact of the pandemic is largely receding, and really we have strong underlying demand and good momentum in the business right now. I feel really good about. And while it does seem like some of the numbers around COVID-19 are improving, it still is having a grievous impact globally. So
yeah, don't worry. You'll need our stuff no matter what.
We really do believe that this new antiviral drug will make a meaningful difference. And as we look at what is the opportunity for it, it truly is about a drug you can take, a pill, an antiviral pill you can take at home. So it still has, I think, a meaningful opportunity as another tool to make a difference. As we look right now, we're currently working with the FDA to get approval as quickly as possible. We have an advisory committee coming up the end of November, and then hopefully we'll be in a position before the end of the year to start shipping product both in the United States and around the world. And as you know, I'm really proud of the access strategy we put in place around this drug to make sure we can accelerate delivery of this drug to everyone in the world that needs it. So as we look at it, I think this is a real opportunity first for the patients that need it, but it will be an important opportunity for Merck as well. And right now, we're on pace to have 10 million doses or 10 million courses ready before the end of this year and more than double that next year. So as we think about the opportunity this could be, obviously we need to get it approved. We need to see the label. But as you mentioned, we're working with governments and we're well positioned to get this thing moving very quickly once we have it approved.
I kind of like that term. We need to see the label.
He also said he changed his right in the middle. He changed from 10 million doses to 10 million courses.
Courses, yeah.
Which is, a course is the entire, I think it's 5 or 10 pills.
Would be a month, I guess. A month's worth would be a course.
It could be a week. Could be probably a week.
From what I've read,
whatever it is, it's $500 a course. Do the math.
No. What I've read is it's $2,000 a course, which is a month.
Oh well, that's really jacked the price up.
So that's $2 billion. Am I saying that right?
2,000 times 10 million. No, it would be 20 billion.
Holy crap!
Yeah, 20 billion.
Oh, we need
2 billion. Chicken feed.
Excuse me. What am I thinking? That's not even worthy of a segment on CNBC. The final thing one of our producers sent to me is from the CDC, and maybe you're interested in this. This is an introduction to motivational interviewing for healthcare professionals talking with patients about COVID-19 vaccination. And they have kind of a skip logic, basically like a telemarketing script for you to follow. Are you interested?
I'm more than interested.
That's what I thought. So, yeah.
And we have to harken back to one of the notes we read in the show recently, where the guy works or a woman, so one of our female producers, and she says they try to talk about COVID so they can charge Medicare.
Yes.
For counseling.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was our fraud, waste, and abuse inspector. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Because there's nothing but fraud, waste, and abuse going on. It's mostly abuse.
So just by reading this script, you are getting paid as a doctor. I wonder if it says that anywhere. Because this is a consultation. It may be billed. So it sets you up as a doctor, as a provider. I'll be your provider, John, and I'll see if I can do this. First of all, I need to embrace an attitude of empathy and collaboration. So I need to be compassionate, show empathy.
No, I'm going to be the patient, the sick patient.
Yes, you should be the sick. Well, no,
or am I just some irked patient that doesn't want to be in the meeting?
Well,
give me some. I need motivation, man.
Hold on a second. I'm giving you your role. So you're a patient. You're with your doctor, and then your doctor is going to find out if you've taken the vaccine, if you accepted the vaccine into your life, and if you haven't, the doctor is going to try and convince you with this simple sales script.
Okay,
you got it. So
yeah.
So you don't even know this is coming up. You're not even anticipating.
No,
it.
I'm going to go in because I have a sore throat, or I have a raspy throat, and I need a lozenge.
So again, I need to be genuinely curious about the reasons why you feel the way you do. So I'm getting myself psyched up for it. I have to be sensitive to culture, family dynamics, and circumstances that may influence how you view vaccines.
Okay.
And remember, I have to remember, arguing, debating do not work. So taking a strong initial stand may also backfire. And just looking at you, your family dynamics and circumstances and culture, I think you'd be one of those. So I'll go slow. First, I need to ask permission to discuss vaccine. Hold on. Here it comes. I have a script, so I'm going to read it. John, if it's okay with you, I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about COVID-19 vaccines and your family.
Okay, man.
Okay, is that a yes?
Yeah, you can talk if you want, but I'm not taking the vaccine if that's what you're getting at.
The vaccine. So the patient says no. Was that a no, or you did want to talk? Did you want to talk about that with me?
I'm not interested. I just want to I got some lunch. I got a sore throat. I need some lozenges.
I take
Can you get me? Is there anything better than the crap I buy at the drugstore? I need something better.
I'll take option one. I will move on and say, I respect that, and because I care about your overall health. Maybe we could talk about vaccines in a future time.
What? I'm here for some lozenges.
This is going off the rails. All right. This is going off the rails. John, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you, because motivational interviewing, I'm supposed to ask a scaled question. On a scale of 1 to 10.
What?
It says, ask the patient a scaled question. For example, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to get a COVID vaccine, where 1 is never and 10, you already have an appointment.
Is this like a survey?
So just say, how about 4? Just
say 4. Is this a
4.
survey? I'm going to get paid?
Say 4.
4.
This is where curiosity comes in. I can say, quote, okay, why 4? Why not a lower number?
Emmanuel Lozenge.
Okay.
What kind of a garbage is this that you're doing here?
This is what doctors are doing all over the country. So,
well, nobody's going for it.
Woo! That is funny, man. Dang. Okay, I think I'm done with the COVIDs. Where we at?
See if I got. I don't think I got any COVID stuff.
I think that may be it for today. I mean, none of this is over by a long shot. There's so much more fun stuff coming. Yes, I did have something. I'm sorry. I actually had 3 things. Here we go.
Oh, I have one more thing too.
This is David Zweig, and he's kind of like is he like a TV doctor or kind of?
Never heard of him.
He was on Megyn Kelly. People seem to know him, but he knows a lot of people in the healthcare field, and this is what he said.
Our top public health experts keep claiming this over and over. There is this solipsism of the American health community that is baffling to me.
Hold on. What is solipsism? Solipsism? What was that word?
Solipsism, I think.
I've never heard of this. Solipsism. What is that?
It's a word that a lot of people use occasionally, and it's one of those words. I've seen it. I know what it means, but then every time it's used, I can never.
Okay. Solipism, SOLIPSISM, the quality of being very self-centered or selfish.
Yeah, it's an impossible word to use. It's just like dumb. Why do you use this word unless you're a fop?
There is this solipsism of the American health community that is baffling to me and a number of the experts who I talk with, but most of them are afraid to speak out. I just got off the phone with one a half hour ago, and I said, I'm going on Megyn Kelly. And she said, don't mention my name. And she's one of my top sources. She is highly, highly credentialed at one of our top universities in the country, who is an absolute one of the top people in this field. And she said, don't mention her name. This is really, really important stuff that people are not aware of, how much of dissent there is within the medical community, but how afraid so many people are to speak out.
On masks in particular or more?
On everything, but masks are such a ridiculous third rail here that they are afraid to speak out. There are some who have courageously spoken out about it. Alyssa Perkins is one of them who I interviewed for one of my articles. She's in Boston. But there are most of them, people just don't want to touch it. And it's either explicit, whether you have, you're in a university hospital, you have the director of your department who says to you, hey, you better not talk about this. Or I think what's more often is that it's implicit. The notion that you are going to go against the CDC, our nation's leading, disease health agency, that's a big deal if you're a doctor.
I guess that's true.
This is no different than it is with climate change.
Precisely.
So what causes this phenomenon, and why does it sustain itself so well? It does a great job. Whatever the mechanism is,
money.
It works like a champ, and it's been proven to work with climate change, and it works with this too, with this whole scene.
Well, maybe it's even beyond money. People don't mind if they would have to find a different place to perform their vocation, but if you are really just shunned from your industry,
I think it's totally beyond money.
Yeah, it's being shunned from the industry. Your peers, all of that stuff. It must be so frightening for so many of them. But it's only going to get worse. Thomas Rentz is an attorney. I think he's a YouTube attorney who has now been relegated to BitChute, but he's still an attorney.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well,
that's a big letdown.
Once you do stuff on YouTube they don't like, you're off to BitChute you go, which is just one step away from Brighteon. So you got to be careful. But he is
Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble. Wow, Rumble is going to be a huge alternative, certainly with their locals. They acquired locals, so they have kind of like a social network. But again, it's a centralized network. They're based on advertising.
They're all doomed.
I don't think it will last long term. Here's a minute and a half of this attorney. He's going to sue hospitals. He's going to sue doctors for wrongful death.
We've got some real powerful whistleblower information that continues to come to us. We have some true heroes that are putting this information out, and these are people who are selfless. They're putting themselves at risk.
It's probably the same people who are afraid to speak up publicly, which is okay because this helps too.
They're putting themselves at risk to get this information out. These hospitals are murdering people, and they're doing so with knowledge. They are aware that what they have doesn't work. They're aware of what they're doing, and we have got to hold them accountable. They're hiding behind NIH protocols, and they're going to try and suggest that there's no malpractice because everybody's doing it. But guess what? Malpractice and any defense for malpractice does not cover intentional torts, and that's where we are. Let me share some information with you all. I have this on remdesivir. What we're seeing from remdesivir is a 25.7% death rate, a 29.8% kidney failure or sepsis rate. This is a mind-blowingly high number, especially when they're trying to attack ivermectin, where you see basically no side effects. Hydroxychloroquine, basically no side effects. These things are so much safer, but yet we continue to put remdesivir in. We see intentional torts being committed, batteries, and, wrongful deaths, amongst others. And they're being committed under the guise of treatment. But people are saying, don't give me remdesivir, and they're doing it anyways. That is a battery, okay? That is absolutely a battery under about any law that I can think of.
So these protocols is what got everybody in trouble. And I've been reading this book, COVID-19, The Global Predators, We Are the Prey, by the... what's his husband and wife? What is their name? The Breggins, Breggin. And what they say, particularly about the ventilators and remdesivir as well, is that all the protocols were set up in the hospital. And I don't know to what degree they've changed, but they were set up in the hospital to basically take people who had to be admitted and get them out of the way to die to make room for new people to come in. That's all they were doing. That's all they were doing is, in essence, hooking people up to a battery.
In New York for sure.
Yeah, just hooking people up to some tubes and sticking like the Matrix. Except there's no awakening from it, or very slim chance. And this was corroborated in not so many words at our super spreader meetup event. By the way, it's a real word in Vegas. When I met one of the professionals who trains ventilator operators, and she said to me, "Yeah, these were the protocols, and I'm pretty sure we killed people." And that was in last year. So these protocols is what did it, and maybe as a part of the fear is that a lot of people know it, and geez, imagine coming out and saying that, hey, we killed these people, and it was kind of on purpose.
Well, that sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Call Thomas Rentz, 1-800-ACCIDENT. Vaccident. There we go. Final.
That's the president.
Final.
I have my final clip.
Okay. Why don't you do yours?
This is just to show you they changed the way they're going to deal with COVID in Singapore, and it's probably the way to go. It's just to give up on this vaccinations and just let the thing go through the population like it's supposed to.
Singapore has one of the world's highest vaccination rates at 82%. Yet cases of COVID-19 are skyrocketing from just double digits in August to well over 3,000 cases a day now. Infectious disease physician Dale Fisher of the National University Hospital says Singapore is letting nature take its course.
Well, we're allowing endemicity
Endemicity, or endemic disease, refers to the constant presence or prevalence of a disease in a population, like influenza in the United States or dengue in Asia, where there's a certain amount of disease each year. Recognizing that the coronavirus is not going anywhere, Fisher says Singapore has decided to coexist with COVID-19 and not try to eliminate it. He says the 88,000 new cases in the last month are the result of that change in strategy.
You allow the doors open, and of course, a lot of people get infections. The vast majority of those are asymptomatic or very mild.
Fisher says thanks to the vaccine, 98% of new cases are mild enough for patients to recover at home, leaving hospitals to focus on the seriously ill. Fisher says Singapore's experience teaches that the vaccine is not very good at preventing transmission,
but it is maintaining its capacity to prevent severe disease.
Endemicity. That's a good word.
Endemicity.
Endemicity. Yeah.
Or endemicity.
No, it's endemicity. I looked it up. Endemicity.
Yeah, it's not a bad show title.
But all right. Endemicity. Okay. Yeah, I wrote it down. Another YouTube doctor, Dr. Virtul, and this is for, and you'll hear, by the way, in the meetups, we got a couple of meetup reports, and there's producers at the meetup who have been vaxxed or getting vaxxed. You know, they've made a different decision. No shaming, no problems at the meetups. Everyone's fine. Everyone's cool with it. There's no issue. There's many people who produce the show who are vaxxed. So for you, I figured we'd share this. I came across this. This guy's taken pretty seriously. His name is Dr. Virtu. I think that's it. Virtu. And he does YouTube channels with audio treatment. So this particular treatment, if you listen to it with headphones on, and I think the treatment repeats for 20 minutes, this can help you eradicate artificial intelligence nanobots from your bloodstream. So I want everyone to just make sure you got your headphones on. Got your headphones on. All right, turn up the volume, and we're going to heal you.
This has been a test of the emergency broadcast system.
You are healed. Hey, you never know. Can't hurt. Now, it's possible people will start bleeding from their ears. I don't know, but hopefully we
killed a couple of cats somehow.
And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage for listening to that and say in the morning to you, the man who put both C's in vaccinations, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John C. DeMorad.
In the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. Also in the morning, all ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air. All the subs in the water also. Oh, and the dames and knights out there.
Indeed. And in the morning to all the trolls in our troll room at trollroom.io. Great to have you. Are you okay? Yep. Podcaster down. Trolls, you can find them at trollroom.io. This is a fun place to hang out. So actually today's been very funny. People have been trolling each other well, trolling us. John and I kicked someone out early in the show. So this is a good troll room. Let's see how many we have in our troll room. Hands up there, trolls. Scurry. I thought so. 2,252. Yeah, people are liking it. The trolls are out in force. Good to have you here, trolls. Lots of people talking to me about looking for jobs and other opportunities who are not on noagendasocial.com, which is our federated social network. The whole concept of the Fediverse is that it is federated so you can use any Mastodon server. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that even though we have capped it at our 10,000 members, just register with a Mastodon server anywhere. You can even set one up yourself. There's €5 a month hosting plans that come good to go, and you can just start up right away. Follow me. Follow John. It's John C. Dvorak at noagendasocial.com, Adam at noagendasocial.com. Post, and we'll be happy to boost, and the flow will start. So it'll be just like you're there with us, and let's see if we can help some people out. Now, before we even thank the artist for episode 1394, and we titled that one Rewilding, we have to say a big hearty get well to Kendra.
What happened?
Well, we were seeing things in the artwork of people like, well wishes to Kenny Ben, and so we didn't know what had happened. And turns out Kendra, Kenny Ben, has been in hospital, not in the, but in hospital for over a week, and things were not good.
Vax?
No, I don't think so, but I don't know. And isn't it weird? That's the first question. And I have had to resist this so many times in public settings when someone said, "Yeah, my dad got sick," and I'm like, you want to say, "Was he vaxxed?" It's a shitty thing to say.
Why?
No, it's not nice.
Why is it not nice? It's just a question.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's not the nice first question.
Well, I suppose you could start with, so what happened?
I don't know. But she posted something like, "Yes, I've been in the hospital, haven't been able to eat for a week. They might have to operate." So It's not good. Yeah, it's not good. So we actually, why don't we just go right ahead and send her a massive health karma, because she certainly deserves it. She's done lots of good art for us.
You've got karma.
Now, we do want to thank Parker Pauly, who brought us the artwork chosen for episode 1394. This was the Pfizer Pops. And we both like this.
Yeah.
This was a very beautiful piece. Well done. Kid approved. I'm not crazy about the background colors personally, but it did not bother me at all.
It's fine.
What else were we looking at? Let me see.
Well, I like the Max Headroom piece from McAdam. I like the super spreaders from Capitalist Agenda, which I was going to use for the newsletter, but then something better came along, and it got bumped.
We like the super spreaders was the Capitalist Agenda bats.
It's
with
just
Corey Dvorak upside down. Yeah,
a nice piece.
Oh, here it is. Here's a comic strip blogger. Get well, Kenny Ben. See, that's what we saw. And there's another one. Kenny Ben from Tantanil. Be back better. Yeah, we got to find out what's going on with her. There was some Fauci stuff, which is no good. I didn't like the Max Headroom. It's like with Joe Biden's head on it. It's a reference that barely anyone knows anymore.
No, I realized that.
Okay.
The one I did like was from Nestworks Post-it Notes. I thought that was a very nice piece.
In fact, it was between if I recall, it was between the Post-it Notes and the Pops.
Yeah, but the Post-it Notes was aggressively different that the Pops was more traditional in terms of what show art looks like, and I don't think we could have pulled it off.
It was a very nice piece, though, with exponentially at the bottom, which, I posted that exponentially, like, what the hell? And there's lots of people telling me I'm an idiot, that it's a real word.
Well, did you look it up?
Yeah, there's no word for it.
It's a real word.
Maybe next time around with Merriam-Webster. Exponentially can also mean exponentially or expeditiously if said by a president. something along those lines.
If anyone thinks it's a real word, I mean, I've never seen it as a word, and I've never heard of it as a word.
No.
And it doesn't sound like a word, but it's like one of those words like tooth.
Tooth.
Tooth. I've got my toothbrush. People say it, tooth. And I'm still convinced that exponentially, which is why people would think it's a word, is probably pronounced that way. It's probably exponentially mispronounced in some part of the country.
No doubt.
Delaware,
No doubt.
Scranton, maybe.
No doubt.
That was pretty much it for what we thought was hot.
Yes, I do want to remind everybody that you can see all of these images at noagendaartgenerator.com. Also, if you're using a Podcasting 2.0 app, we have this cool feature, a useful feature, because it's not just images, but when a chapter changes, you see what the chapter is. You can see a different image, and there could even be a link. And for Dreb Scott, who does our chapter images, but also for any of the artists, the Smithsonian Institute just announced, let's see what they're calling this thing. It's the Smithsonian Open Access, where you can download, share, and reuse millions of Smithsonian's images right now without asking. With new platforms and tools, you have easier access to more than 3 million 2D and 3D digital items from our collections, with many more to come. This includes images and data from across the Smithsonian's 19 museums, 9 research centers, libraries, archives, and the National Zoo.
They've always had this available for without asking, but it was never consolidated. You'd have to go to all different collections. Ones. There was probably about. I've gone through a lot of these collections, and there's probably about 100 of them, 100 collections, and there'd be a collection of World War II posters, for example. You could probably freely use it. It says on there whether it's public domain or not, but I'm glad they've consolidated this a little bit.
Yeah, well, they have a search function, which I think is what makes it easy. Yeah, you're right. I just searched for Dvorak, and there's a lot of plants that apparently relate to Dvorak. Do you know this?
No, it's not easy. None of it's easy. The problem is it's never easy when you get to monstrous collections.
No.
Of thousands and thousands and thousands of things you've got to dig, and it takes more time than a good artist, a good original artist can just crank something out. A guy who can draw can draw a piece faster than finding a piece in some of these massive collections, unless you're looking for something very specific.
That's quite interesting.
That you can't draw when you want to have a photo of.
Yeah, if you search for dead dog, you get a lot of cool images too.
I bet.
I was looking for beagles being eaten, but didn't have that. All right. So if you want to enjoy that, if you're making chapters for Podcasting 2.0, get a better podcast app. It's newpodcastapps.com. And let us thank our executive producers and associate executive producers. Real titles, a real big deal. This is no joke, man. Come on. This is the people who have produced this show in the official manner that Hollywood acts, which means the titles are real. And we will gladly vouch for them. And we kick it off with Boobery. Boobery comes in with $800.85. I like this. Now, right off the bat, Boobery makes it complicated. Wants some theremin, the reverb can. I mean, is that yours? Is that what he's talking about there?
I think he must be talking about my can, which I don't know what I'm supposed to do, yell in it, I guess. Or he wants me to play the theremin. I do have a theremin now. I want to mention this because
you have a theremin?
I've been reluctant to. I have
not played my theremin because you've been nothing but excoriating me and laughing and telling me to get rid of it. And now this is your ploy?
Yeah. Well, I'm not. My plan has not gone according to any sort of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
My idea was to get the theremin because I can play it pretty well now, and it's a real theremin. It's a theremin by Moog.
Yeah, I have that. I have the same one.
It's a little one.
Yeah.
We'll
play it then.
I don't have it on me here.
Well, what are you bringing it up for?
Because just mentioning it because I got it from Christy Bentley, who gave it to me at the meetup, and it was
all right. Christy Bentley, you're off my Christmas list. Judas.
You don't believe him. He doesn't have one of these lists. So she has the theremin. It's probably exactly the same one you have.
Yeah.
And
is it made of wood?
It's called. No. It's just a mini theremin. It's
smaller.
You
can act. Yeah, that has a lot of technology in it that helps you play.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got cool.
It's got all
effects.
kinds of cool stuff. When I play it, I'll put it on the show. I'll plug it in and play it. But I promised I was going to do this, and she pesters me every so often.
She is really evil. Okay, fine.
So now the thing was, she brought the theremin for you.
And you just confiscated it.
I didn't confiscate it. I said he already has a Theramin. I'm the one who needs a Theramin, and I changed her mind.
Yeah, it's called coercion.
No, it was friendly persuasion.
All right. Greetings, fellow air hole gazers, says Boobery. I forgot to ask for a de-douching on my first donation, so please wash away this guilt.
You've been de-douched.
However, Halloween brings me to knighthood as Sir Boobery, Knight of the Mothman. Very cool. Could you provide a lizard person skull mug, liquid sunshine mixed Appalachian moonshine, and a copy of Motley Crue's Too Fast for Love on vinyl to do the blow off of? Do you know what kind of weird looks I got when I put that request in? Okay, good. It's not the hookers and the blow. It's the Motley Crue vinyl. No Agenda has provided so much lamp.
Caught in the grooves. It's no good.
So much lamp to my life. This value is out of this realm. The value is out of this realm. How to stay positive when your career being roadie shuts down and shuts you out for not taking the subscription shot. Starting a podcast, of course. Y'all are hereby cordially invited to the hashtag Green Room for a night with behind the schemes following Hog Story for Moan Day Madness. Esoteric punk rock conspiracy curiosities starting with second half of show and ending with second half of show. Claims so baseless we're mistaken as injustice for all. Come get some at badradio.live and leave a scream mail at 612-263-SXXY. And they're running a porn site on our show here. Love is lit.
It sounds like.
And was intended correctly. It's a pleasure to hear other producers echo that and love and lit. Write what thou will. Adam, could you fire up some theremin? Well, John, if you would kindly recite with the reverb can, Mothman blesseth the tig old biddies. And then he wants Fear is Freedom, Pelosi Jobs Karma, and some Pelosi Jobs Karma, some fife and drum karma. And so I need to have, what is this thing? Fear is Freedom. Okay, so you're coming in. I do Fears. Jeez. Okay, I'll do the theremin, then you do the Mothman blessed the big tig old buddies. Here we go. Whenever you want.
Mothman blesses the tig old biddies.
Fear is freedom. Subjugation is liberation. Contradiction is truth. Those are the facts of this world. And you will all surrender to them. You pigs in human clothing.
Jobs, and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You thought. Karma.
Hey, that was pretty good, John.
Oh?
Yeah, you did okay on that. That sounded very cool in the mix. Yeah.
That thing's the best. Stefan, Callwhite. In Heidelberg.
Hello,
Deutschland, 337.33. Thank you for the fun, entertaining, and informative pod, Evil Grin, cast.
Mm-hmm.
You're teaching people how to critically think and deconstruct the M5M BS. It's becoming more and more important as hardly anyone seems to do this anymore these days.
Mm-hmm.
People get consumed by the fear-mongering of the public programming. This makes your show refreshing to listen to. In the past, I requested Jobs Karma, and because of this, I now work as a dude named Ben. So my hope is the same concept. My hope is that the same concept can be applied to the health of my father. Therefore, I would like to request an F cancer for my dad, who lost one kidney to the disease already and has to go through follow-up surgeries every now and then, because his doctors can't seem to come up with the diagnostic procedures to rule out if the cancer is in remission or not, and have to cut him open again and again. Along with this, I'd also like to request some relationship karma to end my quality alone time. Thank you for your courage and for your great work. Cheers, Stefan.
All right.
Jingles.
Yeah.
If cancer, relationship karma, night name, Sir Faith, pronounced fight.
Oh, fight. Okay, good to know, because he looks like Faith, but it's Sir Fight. Okay, round table
fight.
Sushi
Round
and
table,
sake.
sushi and sake.
Yep, we got it.
Which is easy enough. Please knight me, Sir Fight. Is the accounting. No more mini night, the 10th anniversary double up thingy. Okay. He actually. Okay.
Go ahead.
I just want to say he is making good. He's doing a make good on his the double up thing. Remember that?
I do. The BOGO.
The BOGO.
You've got karma.
Done. Now, I don't have a note for Chris Capey. I looked. Did you find anything? CAPIE? Nope. No? 333.33?
Nothing.
We appreciate it, Chris. Jim Schneeberger from the UK, Great Britain, 333.33. Sirs, appreciate all the effort you put into making No Agenda, my trusted source of news and current affairs commentary. Last week, I sent a contribution to have the honor of Dame. This is Jim. Okay, maybe Jim's wife. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The honor of Dame bestowed upon my smoking hot wife, Marianne Schneeberger, via your episode 1393. While she was highly gratified to receive this prestigious appointment, but being of practical disposition, she pointed out that she would also appreciate some karma while I would benefit from a de-douching. As such, I've sent an additional amount in the order of 333.33 to cover both requests and hope this will suffice. Well, yes, of course.
You've been de-douched.
I am working hard to be able to elevate myself from a lowly serf to something more akin to my wife's newly acquired designation, so perhaps you could throw in some karma for me as well. Warmest wishes to you both, Jim Schneeberger, a.k.a. Jimbabwe, and Marianne Schneeberger, the Dame of Disaster. Well, of course, we got some karma. Actually, I'm going to do you some goat karma, make it work.
You've got karma.
Splash some extra sauce on it.
Mike Saliba. 333.33. I've been listening since Adam's first appearance on JRE.
Yeah, I didn't have it ready.
Joe Rogan, whoo! And find the show is exactly what I needed at this point in time. I am officially de-douched. Not until we play the de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
On JRE, if memory serves me correct, Adam made a comment about the poor state of the watch industry due to smart watches.
I did? Was that when I was high?
This bummed me. So now I've been thinking about launching a watch brand. So I pushed it to the back burner for a while. As time went on, started feeling the need for an exit strategy. And by summer, my fears were confirmed as I was involuntarily severed from my position as a dude named Ben in the mortgage industry. The move, The Big Short, may have a sequel soon.
The movie.
Yes, that's what it says. The movie. Sorry. The movie. I guess that ruined my whole character.
I don't think this character works for me.
Okay. I decided smartwatches were the way to maintain a shrunken amygdala. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And watches made from wood would be the opposite, and got to work. Then I got to work. I now made my first batch of wooden watches available at my soft open website, axeheadwatch.shop.
Axeheadwatch.shop.
Go check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I want to do what PBR never would and provide the two of you with a watch of your choice. Just let me know which ones by responding to this email.
Wow.
Since No Agenda is ad-free, go check them out. Go check the watches out. See which ones we want to get.
Jesus.
I would like also to announce that I would be determining the value of my future value for value donation based on the number of my fellow producers that use promo code ITM to get 25% off their orders. I shall also be planting a tree for each watch sold. Hopefully this propels me and my smoking hot hippie wife, Kelly, to baronhood in no time. Love is lit. Okay, I should have done this in a hippie voice.
So,
please provide R2-D2 karma and jobs karma if it applies to the new business ventures. Yes, it does. Thank you much.
You should look at this. These are very handsome and quite affordable. So the watch face and the band are made of wood.
The band's made of wood too?
Yes.
Huh?
Interlinked wood. And their price is $75 to $175.
Oh, these are collectibles. These are going to be worth a fortune.
I think you're right.
These are collectibles.
This is beautiful. This is how does he do this? That's not just like a thing you do. I mean, crap.
What's it called again?
Axeheadwatch.shop.
Axehead watch.
Yeah, I just want the one that people will go, holy crap, that's an interesting watch.
That's what it sounds. Okay, let's see what we got here. Watches made of wood. Shop all.
Hey, what an interesting idea. I'd never heard of this. Watches.
He's got a bunch of cool looking watches.
Told you.
They're all made of wood. This is great.
They are made of wood. Very interesting.
And the one's called the Woodward, made out of ebony.
I want an AR-15 made out of wood. That'd be cool. All right. Hey, yes, of course we can give you a jobs karma for your new business venture. Very cool.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You've got
crazy
karma.
Kendra, did you find one you like?
There's a couple I like.
Kendra Lamott from East Haven, Connecticut, 33333. In the morning, John and Adam. I'm better known on the to the No Agenda community as Kenny Ben. Oh, hello. You're often misgendered artist. Reports of my recent near-death experience were not exaggerated. However, I'm on the mend but have a bumpy road ahead. Oh, my goodness. I wanted to personally thank this wonderful community that you two have created for all the kind notes and support. I would especially like to call out my fellow No Agenda artists, Tantanil, CSB, Nessworks, and Parker Pauly for their art generator submissions and Parker's Art Win dedication. I was so touched by this. Love is lit. And so she obviously wants a health karma, and she would also like a comic strip blogger jingle. So we'll be happy to do that for you. Now that's collegiate right there, man. That's what you do. That's how you operate with your fellow artists. Well, we certainly send you big health karma, Kenny Ben, and thank you for your courage.
Comic strip.
Comic strip.
Comic strip blogger. Comic strip.
Comic strip.
Comic strip blogger. Comic strip.
Comic strip.
Comic strip blogger. Comic strip.
Comic strip.
Blogger.
You've got karma.
Yeah, they all turn on us. Ryan Nadeau in Bozeman, Montana, 333.21.
What does that even mean? They're going to turn on us.
They're going to the artists as a whole. They're going to turn on us like everyone does this to us.
Eventually, they all turn on us.
No Agenda forums comes to mind.
It's like giving away my theremin.
Hey, what do you need two for?
Well, yours has the cool effects. I was kind of interested in playing with that one, but it's okay.
Well, I'll play the effects for you.
Hey, how about this? No, I'll trade you a wooden watch for theremin.
I know I'm getting a free wooden watch. Hi, gents. Brian says. Hi, gents. I need a de-douching.
No, we can do that.
You've been de-douched.
I started listening after I saw Adam do an interview with Max Kaiser back in 1920. Well, I'm glad you've been keeping up. Please use some of my donation to stack some sats.
Yes, I will.
Since this is my first donation, I will keep my note short to keep John happy. Huh? Does it pay off to be a grouch? Of course it does. Just karma, please.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
You've got karma.
Very cute. Eric is in Walnut Creek, California. Sends in an executive producer donation of $333. I love the show. No last name, please. Good. Didn't do it. Dad has lung cancer. No, not good. Would love an F cancer and some health karma for him. Would love to hear the Build Back Better song at the Build Back Better song at the end of the show, if possible. Happy Halloween. We have a stacked End of show already, so I'll play the stinger for you and that very important health karma for your dad.
For a better life beyond your freedom, build back better. For someone else.
You've got karma.
Son of a bloke comes in from Ney, Ohio, which is a lot of horses there in Ney.
Good
300. Refer to me as son of bloke. Jingles, jobs, karma, ITM, John and Adam, please de-douche me.
Oh my goodness, the de-douching is rampant.
You've been de-douched.
This donation is split to celebrate the Ohio bloke's 58th birthday, November 2nd. You're on the list. Put 99.99 for him and the remaining for me.
All right.
Okay, there
Very
you go.
good. Here he is, our Duke, David Fugazzotto of the America's Heartland and the Arabian Peninsula, one of our favorite donations, 234.56. Greetings from New York City, where cursory glances at my Saudi residency card and Vax credentials were sufficient to get in wherever I needed to. Sure, you read Arabic, lady. Another tip from your No Agenda show. Quick plug for my buddy John's revolutionary medical device, the Safer, S-A-F, capital E-R, Safer, portable negative pressure filter. Good for EMS, hospitals, and other medical facilities. Fits securely on a patient's face and keeps the COVID or Zika or Ebola off of you. Contact me on NA Social at Baron OKC if anyone is interested in it. Seriously, it's a game changer. Keeping it short, no jingles, no karma. Thank you for your courage. Dave Fugazzotto. Thank you very much, Sir Dave. Interesting.
Well, somebody needs some marketing help, apparently. Sir Camera Chris of the BJJ Mats in Grafton, Wisconsin, 222.22. Sir Chris, is this the guy who used to do the car mats? Because remember the car mats from years ago? We got some car mats.
Gosh, very vague.
ITM John and Am, Sir Camera Chris of the BJJ Mats here, also known as the other Chris on the Jitsi. Thanks a lot, Sir Chris Wilson. The sack of deuces is a slight switcheroo. The first 100 should be credited to Roger Roundy, the artist, to ensure he's not a douchebag, because he's not. He's amazing. I guess we should de-douche Roger Roundy.
Let's do it.
You've been de-douched.
I mean, he's no Kenny. He's no Kenny Ben, but
can the rest please be used for this? Have you gone to look at Roger Roundy's real art, not the stuff he does for us?
I have. It's quite recognizable.
It's very disturbing.
I call that recognizable for some reason.
It's a lot of disturbing pieces. They're not like gruesome though. They're attractive.
Yeah, they're just
not disturbing. Like creepy. It's not like stuff.
Anytime you can use those words and feelings about art, it's great art.
Yeah, well, it is great art actually. Can the rest please be used for the strongest jobs karma you've got for my wife and myself? Mandate is coming out this week by our employer, and the deadline is on her birthday shortly before Christmas. Yay!
Gosh.
We'll not be getting the jab, but no matter the outcome of exemptions of our family of 5 would be just fine. However, we'd like to keep our jobs and be jab free if time allows. Can we get a Sanders trigger warning followed by Sanders, I'm king of the world? Sir Chris Wilson believes this trigger warning was never played on the show back when he made it. Thank you for your courage, Sir Camera Chris in Grafton, Wisconsin.
The thing I don't have...
So Chris Wilson's doing back channeling with random donors complaining.
The thing I don't have is king of the world. Have we ever had Bernie saying I'm king of the world?
Yes, I remember Bernie saying that. Yep. He was mocking something.
And we have that? It's not not a jingle, though, is it?
It's not a jingle. It's one of the things Bernie said. I mean, no, it's not a jingle.
Well,
either.
I do have the Chris Wilson bit, but I don't have. We'll do what we can here, and I got some strong Job's karma for you.
The following podcast contains content that may make you question your support for Bernie Sanders, President 2016. However, it will not affect your undying love for the man, as that will go on forever, 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 forever. It may also bring about anal leakage. Listener discretion is advised.
Jobs. You've got karma.
You guys. TJ of the Side Eye. Now, is this on a separate...
No.
You have a note for this?
No.
We have no note. Why is it gray?
Well, I think it's because it came in as, well, maybe we should have a note. Maybe that's what he's saying.
Yeah,
that's
what
right.
I'm thinking.
Great. Should mean
here I go.
Here,
TJ of the Side Eye. I have it right here.
Oh, yeah, I have it there.
202. Just R2D2.
He normally puts a reference in this.
Yes, he does normally do that. Just a R2D2 karma for my new job. Job karma works. Dear executive and associate executive producers, long donation notes are a sign you need to attend a meetup.
Yes,
very good.
He nailed it.
So
he also
true.
He also sent a cute card in.
Yes. Very nice. Thank you very much. 202. Appreciate it.
You've got karma.
Sir Dustiest Lizard in Okinawa, 201. Jingles. Obama, you're all going to die, 2 to the head, and my attached Let's Go Brandon jingle. I don't have.
Oh, he had a... Did we get this?
I didn't. I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, guys. Konnichiwa from beautiful Okinawa. Love the show. Keep doing what you do. I have attached a new jingle. Not sure if it's up to your quality, but my own twin girls had fun making it. I want to give a shout out to all the No Agenda Okinawa producers. Another meetup is in the works. Love and light. Sir Dustiest Lizard.
Yeah, let me just check. I do have... Oh, maybe this is it. Is this it? No. This may be... Until he asked for Obama, we're all going to die. Well, that doesn't exist. We have the kids going, we're all going to die. And you have Obama saying, you might die.
Yeah.
So I have that. And I do have this.
We're all going to die. You might die.
Let's go, Brandon.
Ooh,
that's cute.
That's what I have. There you go.
It's good.
Yeah, it's not bad, right?
It's up to our qualities. It's got 2. There's obviously more than one person, and they're singing in a slight kid harmony.
You know what they remind me of?
Which is always cute.
They remind me of the twins from The Shining.
Let's go, Brandon.
They got their blue dresses on.
You just have to put it on a loop.
Oh, yeah, really. Need to do that right away. Sir Steve, Knight of the Southern Skies, is in Melbourne, Victoria, locked down like a dog, and sends us $200. Thanks, Adam and John, for 14 years of No Agenda. Long may it continue. Thanks also, Adam, for enduring my long email missives on the never-ending Dictator Dan saga. Best to you both. No jingles, no karma, Sir Steve, Knight of the Southern Skies, Melbourne, Australia. Sir Steve, no, thank you, Sir Steve, because you're one of the producers who have been keeping us abreast of what's really happening. And we even published a whole thing from him on the last show. Go back in the show notes for $13.94 and see what he wrote. It's really quite interesting. Thank you so much.
Anthony Vavick in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, $200. ITM, guys, thank you for all the awesome work you do, and congratulations on 14 years and never having a single fight. I got a show day birthday, so that means I got to donate. Can I get a de-douching and be added to the birthday list?
Yeah.
Yes. Give a de-douching.
Yes, we can. Oops.
You've been de-douched.
And thank you and happy Halloween, he writes.
Oh, gracias.
And last on the list is, we don't have a note, unless you do, from Leon Rogeson, who has written in before, and $200. And the last time he wrote in, which was in, this may be the note, it just says, I need a de-douching.
We can do that.
You've been de-douched.
And thank you for
don't see a note from me. We did get the note from Josh Springer. This is a make good. He says, I was smacked on the butt by Sir Warren Carroll of the Baronet of Bottom Filling a few years back. It wasn't until the shitstorm of 2020 when we really started listening. 2020 was scary as hell for a company that makes a bottom-filling beer dispenser. Oh, yes, we talked about these guys. And your guys were a source of sanity that really helped get me through. Remember this? They have the bottom filling beer dispenser, so you have a special glass and you just pop it on and it shoots the beer up from the bottom. Perfect fill every time, perfect head. You don't remember.
I vaguely remember something like that.
Oh, it's a while ago. It's years ago.
They never sent us one.
Again, the true fault of the promoter. In fact, he goes on to say shameless self-promotion. I asked the Gitmo Nation search the interwebs for bottom-up beer dispenser, then spread the word. We're doing well, but could still use all the help we can get. The map on our website has all of our locations. Can I please get a jobs karma for bottoms up to help get some more system installs and a Greenwood kids up? Let's go, Brandon. And it's those damn kids again. The Greenwood kids. P.S. Along with the inventor of Bottoms Up, I am also a stand-up comic. I opened all 5 club shows I did over the weekend with Let's Go Brandon to a very warm reception. Gee, who would have thunk?
Let's go, Brandon.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
And that
yes. This year will be the Let's Go Brandon year.
Oh, yeah.
Before it's over.
I wonder how many Halloween costumes we'll see with Let's Go Brandon. There's got to be something out there for the kids. Well, these executive producers and associate executive producers have just received a credit that is completely valid, legal, and real. You can put it anywhere credits are recognized, including the illustrious centralized IMDb. But that's where a lot of producers with high-standing credits are to be found, not just for this show, but movies, television, all kinds of stuff. And you're now in that exclusive group. Thank you very much for your support of the No Agenda Show. Value for value. It's what we've been doing now in our 15th year. No commercials, no ads, no creepy Chinese money or corporate stuff. Just, if we like a product, by the way, we'll say we like a product. If we don't, we say we won't and we don't. It's as easy as that. So people who do that and send stuff in to talk about their product, it's risky. It's risky. But we do like wood and wood products. So that's always a good, it's always
the idea of a wood
shot.
watch.
Good shot. You always got a good shot with something made out of wood. If you'd like to participate for our next program, which is on Thursday, go to this website.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Your kids love that jingle, don't they? And thank you for supporting episode 1395 of the No Agenda Show.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth. Order.
Shut up, slave. Shut up, slave.
Kid was late, yeah. Hey, climate change. It's time. It's that time again. And I think maybe before we even start off, I see you have some clips. I think it is time for us to take a trip back to the climate gate.
To the gate, to the gate, to the climate gate.
We are back, baby. Woohoo! Since the day we started this show, we've been yapping about climate change, how we're all going to die.
Any minute.
Any minute now.
They should be flooded out by now. Taking longer than it should. Well, let's listen to the COVID blather.
COVID? I thought we were going to talk about cops.
Yeah. Instead of COVID, substitute the word COP26.
Uh-huh.
This is all part of the same thing.
Oh, COP26, because you said COVID. I got you. Now I'm with you.
I know I said COVID because I'm looking right at the word COP26 and COVID. It just comes right out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you something's up.
Mm-hmm.
So COP26 blather, NPR.
More than 120 world leaders will be on hand as British Prime Minister Boris Johnson presides over the formalities of the first day of the COP26 summit. Britain is calling the gathering one of the world's last chances to keep alive the goal of limiting global warming.
Last
chances. I actually have a clip.
I have the follow-up.
You got the follow-up? Okay.
Oh, no, it's actually not the follow-up. This is the PBS version of the same report.
Okay.
Protesters turned out around the world today ahead of a UN climate summit that starts Sunday in Glasgow, Scotland. In London, activists rallied in the financial district to protest fossil fuel investments. Mm-hmm. Demonstrators also gathered in Tel Aviv,
ESG,
Paris,
baby.
and other cities. And in Rome, the UN Secretary General was pessimistic about the summit's outcomes.
There is a serious risk that Glasgow will not deliver.
Several recent climate announcements might leave the impression of a rosier picture. Unfortunately, this is an illusion. We are still careening towards climate catastrophe.
Careening!
Oh, no.
President Biden travels to Glasgow on Monday. He's called for cutting U.S. greenhouse gas emissions in half by 2030 from 2005 levels. In other developments, the U.S. Supreme Court agreed today to consider whether the federal government has the authority to curb carbon emissions from power plants.
You know, this is very embarrassing for our president. As, you know, he's over there trying to make deals, save the world because, you know, we're all going to die. Putin didn't come. No one from, none of the leaders from China, Brazil, Japan, India, they just sent their lackeys. And so Joe's walking around with his old man gait and his mask, and he's looking like a fool. I mean, these are the important players. They're not even showing up.
I think that's why the UN guy, Secretary General, made that little commentary, thinking it's going to be a dud. That's what he said.
I think it's a super dud.
Well, Biden's there, Macron's there, I think, and Boris is there.
No, the most important person is there. I will read the headline from the Washington Post. Greta Mania hits Glasgow as Swedish teen is mobbed upon arrival for COP26 summit. Oh, my goodness. This is so disgusting. And they were trying. We saw them try to do this. They were trying to get Greta to be a little superstar with her dancing and her Rick Astley crap. Let me see this video. Let me see if there's actual people yelling Greta. She's just being mobbed. Oh, they're walking her down the street in Glasgow. This is a total PR moment. This is a manufactured child. Oh goodness. This is what you do with boy bands. This is how the same formula. Yeah, oh, look, being mobbed. Bull crap.
Yeah, you hire a bunch of people.
Here's Prince Charles and Bojo in the COP26 promo video. And you know how whenever they do these videos and they get a whole bunch of douchebags and they're going to clip them, you know, of course the douchebags are in their own office or their own castle. They're never in the same place. So in order to have continuity throughout the video, let's give each person who we're interviewing something to hold on so it'll have continuity. Are you familiar with this trick?
Oh, yeah.
So this time they
like
chose
a cup or something. You hand it to the other. There's a lot of ways of doing it.
Well, this time they chose a blue globe. A blue globe that each of them is holding. It's a glowing orb.
Their cause close to the heart of Prince Charles. This, his message to them.
I'm old enough to have a grandson. Like you, he's learning how climate change is causing the big storms and floods, the droughts, fires, and food shortages we're seeing around the world. When I was his age, people had no idea about the damage they were doing. But by the time I was a teenager, I started to see that if we didn't stop polluting our planet, we would face a very dangerous future indeed. This is why I've spent so much of my life trying to warn that we have to operate in ways which make nature thrive, not suffer.
As world leaders prepare to meet for COP26, these young people want action.
Are you listening?
Are you listening?
Are you listening?
Thank you all so much for sharing what you have to say. Your determination to tackle climate change and your high hopes for COP26 couldn't be clearer. If we don't slam on the brakes right now, we're going to go right past the point where we're able to do anything about it.
The stakes couldn't be higher. Becky Johnson, Sky News.
The stakes could not be higher. Bojo's latest quote, human civilization could collapse like the Roman Empire if climate change is not addressed. Was climate change the reason why the Roman Empire collapsed?
I thought it was just mostly corruption.
Yeah, I thought it was coin clipping and other stuff. No, but it's going to collapse like the Roman Empire if climate change is not addressed. So do we deduce from that There will
the
be
Roman
lots of
Empire
corruption.
was one part of all of human civilization, which is one part.
Mm-hmm.
What was he talking about? How was all human? It isn't full of crap. This guy, I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, it was that hospital visit. Bad stuff, bad juju. In your clip, I think it was the NPR clip, they talked about the protest against investment in oil and fossil fuel companies. Yeah. This is the ESG movement.
Part of it.
Economic. What other part is it then?
You can't. If you even say fossil fuel, you don't qualify to be on a board.
But what I heard was specifically protesting against investment in fossil fuel companies. Oh, that's the ESG movement.
Well, that's targeting those companies that hedge funds. Targets.
How about not just hedge funds? How about
retirement
funds, investment
giant
funds,
state retirement funds,
insurance
pull your money
companies.
out of anything that actually makes money.
Exactly, and it's was reported. Well, what was reported was the grilling that some of the oil executives got on the Hill recently, which I didn't even know was happening.
And tense moments on Capitol Hill as leaders from some of the world's biggest oil companies were grilled by House Democrats during a hearing. CEOs.
How can that be an ABC News term? Grilled. Do you really think they were grilled? Shouldn't they just say question? Shouldn't they just say
question?
Right. Grilled is so, it's biased. It's loaded. There you go.
Grilled by House Democrats during a hearing. CEOs from ExxonMobil, BP, Chevron, and Shell pushed back against accusations that the industry misled the public about climate change. They all testified climate change is real, saying that their companies are taking steps to address the crisis.
At Chevron, we've been very clear about where we stand. We accept the scientific consensus. Climate change is real, and the use of fossil fuels contributes to it.
I agree that climate change is one of the biggest challenges that we have in the world today, which is why at Shell we're in action.
You are powerful leaders at the top of the corporate world at a turning point for our planet. Be better.
Carolyn Maloney, chairwoman of the House Oversight and Reform Committee, said she would be issuing subpoenas to oil companies to get information not provided at yesterday's hearing.
What I really like about these jamokes is that none of them really lied. This is wordplay, and I really like it. I shall dissect.
At Chevron, we've been very clear about where we stand. We accept the scientific consensus. Climate change is real.
Hey, I have no argument with that. You? Climate change is real?
Yeah, climate's always real. Now I sound like an old fart, but I'm going to say it. Climate's always changing.
Yeah, and he tags it with?
And the use of fossil fuels contributes to it.
Sure, it contributes to it. It contributes, even if it's 1/10 of a millionth of a percent. Of course, it contributes something to it. That's not a lie.
So does the construction industry.
Exactly.
I agree that climate change is one of the biggest challenges that we have in the world today.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest challenges because it's bull crap and we're challenged by it, but it doesn't mean that you think we're going to die of it. Again, she's being truthful. Smart execs.
Which is why at Shell, we're in action.
We're in action. John, here at the No Agenda Show, we're in action, baby. Just so you know, we hear you. We're in action.
You are powerful leaders at the top of the corporate world at a turning point.
Okay. Economic social governance, ladies and gentlemen, is attack on the free markets. It's an attack on the free markets.
Of course it is, because socialism cannot survive the way
capitalism.
Things are going.
No. Now, are you familiar with Sandag?
No.
The San Diego San Diego, well, it's in the report.
A plan expected to be floated Friday is one calling for wholesale change to the way people get around in San Diego. The San Diego Association of Governments, or Sandag, is proposing the idea of charging drivers a tax between 2 and 6 cents for every mile driven to raise the $163 billion to launch their Sandag transportation program.
We're talking about a big picture regional transportation plan that looks out to the year 2050. We're talking about $163 $63 billion investment for the San Diego region that really once and for all addresses traffic congestion, addresses social equity in a meaningful way, and meets some really...
Do they really think that a tax is going to address traffic congestion? Like, really, people
in fact, fixes equity or something,
yes,
she said there at the
that's
end.
the second part. Hold on.
Once and for all addresses traffic congestion, addresses social equity in a meaningful way.
It's so she's clearly in action, and she's addressing equity in a meaningful way. Social equity in a meaningful way. What do you think that means?
It doesn't mean anything. She's full of crap, this woman.
No, I think
she should be strung. She should be shaved and walk down the street.
And meet some really aggressive climate targets.
But before the proposal...
that's my favorite. Well, meet some really aggressive climate targets.
But before the proposal has even been discussed, the pushback has been fierce, with rallies being held to denounce the mileage tax.
Yeah. That's un-American, man.
Tax. They're already charging too much. They don't really. Some of this stuff's not going to fly in California. They've already jacked up our gas prices. There's an extra $1 of tax. That's why our price is $5 a gallon.
Yeah,
must be Norway.
Tina drove back from Austin the other day, went through the Drip, and got gas there, which is much closer to Austin. $4 for premium.
Yeah,
that's $1 higher than we're used to paying. Yeah. Really, $2, but okay. Yeah. Climate change, everybody. Now, I got a note from Farmer Claire, and this is part climate change, part supply chain, and I thought it was interesting because this was about glyphosate, which seems to be in short demand. I'll read her note, and then we can talk about it. On a separate note, here we go. There's a severe shortage going on with the chemicals for glyphosate, and the price has been hiked immensely, but therein lies the crutch, she says. The push for, quote, sustainable agriculture. The new buzzword, here we go, is, ready? Write this down, regenerative agriculture. And this is, regenerative agriculture relies on a zero-tillage system to protect the soil. So that means you cannot rototill your soil. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, there's some stuff going on like this.
Now, of course, she says you can't sow crops into a full sward of grass if you want any reasonable return on your inputs to get a decent crop. So farming is now becoming more and more reliant on glyphosate instead of plowing, which is now seen as wrong. Quoting from the Paris Accord 2.1.b. Increasing the ability to adapt the adverse impacts of climate change and foster climate resilience and low greenhouse gas emissions development in a manner that does not threaten food production. Wow. How can this work? If you don't have the glyphosate and you can't till the soil, you're going to get a severe reduction. Or if you can't afford the glyphosate, let's put it that way, you're going to get a reduction in output. And from what we heard, glyphosate is going up, 2, 3, 4, 5
they
times.
They got to get this stuff out. They got to find some way of getting around this glyphosate crap. They got to get rid of it.
And it's not the only thing, though. In the Netherlands, there's all kinds of fertilizer that is verboten, the nitrogen-based fertilizers, which I think is kind of what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, you want as much of it as you can get.
Now, that's verboten, baby. They have caps. You can't use it.
Stunted plants.
Well, yes. No, ultimately, you get stunted plants, stunted food, stunted humans. Again, with the killing. And she sent me a link to the Ice Age farmer.
Killing. Yeah.
The Ice Age farmer is great.
I think we're onto something.
Finally, we figured it out. They're trying to kill us. The Ice Age farmer says we got huge problems with energy and farming. This is just a short clip. It's well worth following the Ice Age farmer.
In a previous video, we mentioned that the energy crisis, which is growing and accelerating and shows no signs of abating, with reserves already at low levels entering into the cold season, is risking becoming a food crisis as well. And we named some examples: the UK unable to slaughter animals without CO2, not producing fertilizer; the Dutch greenhouses going empty because they couldn't afford the gas to heat them. And of course, China's harvest failing. Today, there's an article from Market Watch that indicates these things are still going on and that they're worsening. In fact, it highlights some stuff that's going on in Italy. Before I even get to this, I just want to remind everyone that this is all happening against the backdrop of such ridiculously disturbed supply chains that even major food producers like Augustin Farms has had to shut down their own website, unable to get the to procure the ingredients they need to produce the stored food. But this is not just a canary in the coal mine. It's more like Big Bird with stage 4 cancer. It's a really bad sign when
why does this company have to shut down a website
to produce emergency foods?
They couldn't take orders. What he meant is they couldn't take orders.
They can close the ordering part of the website.
He said
they shut the whole website
down.
John,
it's just a matter of speech. They didn't shut the whole website down. They shut down the shopping.
What he said.
That's not what I understand. I put in the show notes the report which one of our producers sent, the Associated Whole Grocers, Inc. report, the supply chain update. I'm not going to read anything from it, but, yes, I will. Currently, they have more than 6,000 purchase orders in the system that are deemed late due to being one or more days past normal lead time due dates. In many cases, purchase orders are multiple days or weeks late. And they see a lot of problems. And so this is this is really an association of wholesale grocers, retailers. I think it may even be independents who are in this association. But they really break it down quite well. It's a long report. I mean, what is this thing? It's like 50 pages. Take a look at that. And if you find anything groovy, let me know. But just from what I saw, I think we're going to have issues with food, like real issues with real food. Not now, but in a year from now or whenever the next something's going to break. If you can't use the fertilizer, you can't use natural gas in the Netherlands to keep the greenhouse is warm. What is the plan, people?
The plan is to let us be the food producers in this country and ship everything overseas.
Oh,
These
really?
other guys are idiots.
We would be the food producers?
Yeah. Yeah, we're plowing. The rest of it's bull crap. But this does lead to inflation. I have some inflation clips because they're pretty disgusting.
Wait, inflation? This was transitory.
Let's start with inflation. Transitory, 5 years. Inflation, PBS.
There's yet more evidence of inflation heating up. A key barometer of prices is up nearly 4.5% from a year ago. That's the most in 30 years. And wages and salaries jumped a record 1.5% in the third quarter as employers competed for workers.
Now, by your previous assertions, is this still a case of huge demand from opening up and a surge?
In my opinion, yeah, but that doesn't mean it's right. But these guys are taking a different tack. Now, that was from PBS. I want to play these clips from NPR.
Good.
NPR started talking about on one of their Money Watch or some money show.
Money show.
Some money show. And they go on with the talking about the inflation monster. Oh, the inflation monster. There's no such thing as an inflation monster. And they transitioned from talking about the inflation monster into a psychodrama called The Inflation Demon.
What? Wait, they went from monster to demon?
Yeah, I didn't clip the whole thing because it went on and on. It's like one of our sketches.
Only we know when to end.
Only it's sickening because what they're trying to do is scare the public with bull crap. Listen to the inflation demon, NPR. This is it's already begun. It's already begun a little bit.
No such thing as an inflation monster.
Monster!
Actually, kid, I'm a demon.
Don't demons usually have horns and teeth and a body? You're just a glowing, floating cloud of gas.
Holy crap, that's your voice. They're stealing your voice. You do that voice. Maybe. This is good.
You have horns and teeth and a body? You're just a glowing, floating cloud of gas.
Yeah, I'm the kind of demon that isn't so tangible. I'm an inflation demon.
What do you want?
I'm here to tell you that inflation is not only real, it's something very, very afraid of.
But Uncle Adrian says...
Uncle Adrian's too young to know what he's talking about. He's never experienced the effects of widespread inflation.
Hyperinflation? What's that?
Glad you asked. Let's take a little trip back in time.
Where are we?
Willkommen and bienvenue. We're in Germany's capital, Berlin. It's November 1923.
Whoa! When did the kids from Radiolab start doing NPR gigs?
So they go to this with this. First, he brings up hyperinflation, which we've talked about on this show, as being bull crap in terms of the fact that we have the world's currency, but that's beside it being just bull crap on that level. So they bring it in. They bring in 1923 Germany, which is the case of Western hyperinflation.
If you're going to the Weimar Republic.
When they should, of course, take a look at Brazil for hyperinflation, which is much more modern down there.
It's more fun to do. It's more fun to do it with Nazis.
So you go back to the Nazis.
It's always
and so
better.
they had this hyperinflation because the Germans were broken after World War I, and the country was out of control. It was just a mess.
No. Well, hold on a second. That's not true. The Jews were making the country a mess. This inflation demon is walking us down the path to this. So let's listen to more of this stupid product that these guys at NPR are delivering to scare the kids. This is great.
It's November 1923. The economy here tanked after World War I. Social unrest was everywhere. But things were about to get even worse.
Oh, it's so cold here.
Oh, why don't you go warm yourself up by the fire over there?
Okay.
Hey, kid. You there? Yes. Hand me that stack of paper right there.
Yeah, sure. Wait a second. Is this money?
God.
It used to be. It says 100 billion marks on it. But these bills are worth more as kindling than they are as currency.
What happened?
After the Great War, our government began printing paper money to pay reparations to the countries it invaded. It printed so much money that the price of everything rose astronomically. Last month, the inflation rate was almost 30,000%.
The most insulting fake German accent I've ever heard. That's insult. I mean, when I do it on this show, okay, we know it's a joke. That was just an insult.
Could you believe this?
Hard to.
Propaganda that they're trying to feed the American liberal who listens to this garbage?
They actually listen to it.
Somebody does.
You know what? I'm going to give you a clip of the day. This was good.
Thank you very much.
Clip of the day. No, it was. That's a great find. I cannot believe that is on our national treasure. Exactly. Well, all right. Then since we're doing stuff like that, since we're doing a little acting, why don't I give you some X-Files predictive programming? Since we now have figured out on this show, mark it down, everybody, episode 1395, we figured out the end game. They want to kill us.
Driven not only by corporate greed, but a darker objective. The takeover of America. And then the world itself, by any means necessary, however violent, or cruel, or efficient. By severe drought, brought on by weather wars, conducted secretly using aerial contaminants and high-altitude electromagnetic waves, in a state of perpetual war, to create problem, reaction, solution scenarios to distract, enrage, and enslave American citizens at home, with tools like the Patriot Act and the National Defense Authorization Act, which abridge the Constitution in the name of national security. The militarization of police forces in cities across the U.S., the building of prison camps by the Federal Emergency Management Agency with no stated purpose, the corporate takeover of food and agriculture, pharmaceuticals and healthcare, even the military in clandestine agendas to fatten, dull, sicken, and control a populace already consumed by consumerism. And I encourage you all to go shopping more. A government that taps your phone, collects your data, and monitors your whereabouts with impunity. A government preparing to use that data against you when it strikes. And the final takeover begins.
The takeover of America.
By a well-oiled and well-armed multinational group of elites that will cull, kill, and subjugate.
Woo!
Happening as we sit here.
It's happening all around us.
The other shit waiting to drop.
It'll probably start on a Friday. The banks will announce a security action necessitating their computers to go offline all weekend.
Digital money will disappear.
They can just steal your money?
Followed by the detonation of strategic electromagnetic pulse bombs to knock out major grids.
What will seem like an attack on America by terrorists or Russia.
Or a simulated alien invasion using alien replica vehicles that exist and are already in use.
An alien invasion of the U.S.
The Russians tried it in 1947.
Okay. All right, Scully and Mulder. But really, when you think about it, we're only missing a few elements from this described scenario. And I think the grid is the one that eventually will go. I don't know about EMPs to blow up the grid, but we did have an X-class solar flare pop off during the direction Earth on the 28th. And
supposed to give us a Northern Lights tomorrow.
Northern Lights and maybe some power grid disruptions. If it's strong enough, an X-flare could do that, but it has to kind of hit straight on, I guess. And that would be perfect. You know, we need to get this grid out. We need to put in their battery grid, their D cells. Wait, remember the dry cell batteries? Do they still make those?
Yeah.
Like that huge battery?
Yeah, sure they do.
Are those still are those useful at all? What are those made of? Dry batteries.
It's a carbon-based technology. I forgot what it is, how it works.
Anyway. So, yeah, so they're trying to kill us. There's that. But while they do it, they'll be reporting something else. There's a new, this is also one of these great new companies, Public Benefit Corporation, which is, I think, total ESG malarkey, if I can call it that. A new public benefit corporation has been started, which launches Tuesday, and this it's called the what is it called? The Good Information Inc. That doesn't say propaganda to you, does it? And it is backed by billionaires Reid Hoffman of Netflix and George Soros. Yay!
So is that Reid? No, that Reid Hoffman's the one from LinkedIn.
Is he LinkedIn? Who was the guy from? Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, that was LinkedIn. The LinkedIn Hoffman guy.
Oh, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense that it's the LinkedIn guy because he's
a total Trump-hating
Democrat.
He's a
nut job. All right. So here it is. Good Information Inc. aims to fund and scale businesses that cut through echo chambers with fact-based information. As part of its mission, it plans to invest in local news companies. So
to promote some sort of stock that George Soros can buy into early and make a lot of money. Everything is about money with that guy.
Right, but I think the idea, the group is going to be led by...
Hoffman's just a fat idiot.
The group will be led by Tara McGowan, and she is a former Democratic strategist who ran the nonprofit Acronym. Do you remember Acronym?
Vaguely.
Acronym was the... Well, I'll read. Acronym invested in for-profit companies that build media and technology solutions for progressive causes. It ran one of the largest digital campaigns to defeat President Trump in the 2020 election, totaling $100 million. And it had one of the, if you'll recall, one of the companies it invested in was called Shadow. And Shadow was that fine company that contributed to the delay of reporting the Iowa caucus results. It's hard to remember that far back, but remember that joke?
Yep.
So it's dangerous, in my mind, when you have these kind of jamokes not setting up news organizations. No, they're going to pump money into them and tell them what to do.
Yeah, well, that's the better way to doing it.
It's much better.
Start from scratch.
It's much better. It's scary, but it's much better.
Because most people that right now in journalism aren't making enough money, give them a little extra cash, and they're already amenable. Most journalists working today are already lefties.
Yeah,
generally speaking, with very few exceptions, and they'll admit to it if you ask them. So it's like pre-made. It's like a pre-packaged cake mix. All you need is some milk.
Anything else on climate change, by the way? Because I
don't. I just have my little short climate change things.
Yeah, it's we're light on.
I do have a little bit here that should be in play, which is the G20 rundown, which was pre-climate gate.
Oh, did those guys already meet? Did they hang out?
They met and shut down, and then Biden's on his way to Glasgow. But let's listen to this because there was something accomplished, if you want to call it an accomplishment.
President Biden is there. He also had a key meeting today with the leaders of France, Germany, and Britain to discuss what to do next about Iran's nuclear program. NPR's Sylvia Poggioli is with us now from Rome to tell us more. Sylvia, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
What was on the agenda today?
Well, the first day focused on global health and the post-COVID economic recovery, and the leaders unanimously endorsed a global minimum tax of 15% on corporations. Earlier, a senior Biden administration official who briefed reporters said this is a game changer that'll create at least $60 billion in new revenue a year in the U.S. and will reshape the rules of the global economy. This means that big internet giants like Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Microsoft will not be able to avoid paying taxes by setting up headquarters in low-tax countries.
Yeah, this is a fun one. They've been trying this for so long.
Out of this one too.
Do they really think that'll work ever?
Well, if they all agree to it in every country, I mean, Biden's been pushing it here because it's part of that agenda, that globalist agenda, is to get a minimum tax.
Yeah.
And there are minimum taxes that have worked before. They're on the tax form for certain people that have kinds of weird income.
Sure there are, yeah, sure.
Ding them more than they can get their money normally.
Yeah. Hey, you get this minimum tax option. Okay, sounds good. Boom. Hey, that's more.
Yeah,
how does that
tax tends to be
more.
How does
that work?
And so the idea is that these companies, this is part of the progressive agenda, which is ironic since these companies asked for it, since they're the ones that promoted Biden into office. So you can take a beating, but if your sales are XYZ, you're going to have to pay 15%, period.
And along with that comes a proposed, although I don't know if we actually, well, apparently something has been written, a proposed gain on or tax on unrealized gains for only billionaires, wealthy individuals.
I think that's been pulled back.
Well, the anonymous gay accountant sent me a note, and he says, we got to talk before the next show, so that'll be after today. He says that he's read what's being proposed, and he said we got to talk about it. So
I think most of it's been pulled back because what's being proposed is in that second bill, and that second bill has been already dropped from 3.5 to 1.8 or whatever it is now. It's been pulled way back, and although the things they're keeping in there is kind of frightening. The $550 billion in. Here it is, an update on BBB bill, NPR.
Ooh, there's nothing like a little Bill Back Better, everybody. Oh, update, you said. Update. It's an update, yes.
There's still no final vote on President Biden's social services and climate spending plan. The roughly $1.7 trillion legislation is still on the Democratic Party drawing board as moderates and left-leaning members remain stalled. NPR's Windsor Johnston has the latest.
Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, the chair of the House Progressive Caucus, says she endorses the spending plan, but is deeply disappointed that the paid family leave provision did not make the final cut.
Their hearts are breaking. Our hearts are breaking. All the women here, all the families. Paid leave is not in the framework that the president laid out.
The spending package does include measures to address climate change, housing shortages, education, and healthcare. The stalemate between Democrats has prevented the House from moving ahead with a vote on a separate bipartisan infrastructure bill that passed the Senate in August.
Yeah, I still have the feeling that it's Janet Yellen needs at least $3 trillion. The $500 billion was, negotiating room. She needs that. Somehow I'm so convinced now that they need this money. They need to be able to print it, bank reserves or something.
There's something up. I do have these two clips I'm going to get out of the way, which is on tax.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good.
You know that the whole tax thing and getting out of your taxes, finding ways to not pay.
Yeah.
You know what that is? It's racist.
Wait a minute. Well, hold on a second. What do you mean getting out of your taxes? Like trying to get all the deductions?
If you fill out, whatever you do, the whole tax system, if you're not paying your fair share, you're
racist.
Whites.
Okay.
It's about whites. And so they had a woman on NPR who wrote a book about white taxes or something. She's some racist. She's a white woman, I think. But anyway, this is Tax Blather. Racist one.
Why is it that the money you earn while you're awake is taxed so much more heavily than the money you earn passively?
While you sleep.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, it's because there's a bias in our tax laws that advantages income from capital, income from stock, and disadvantages income from labor. It's an unfair advantage, but it's a provision that dates back to the 1920s and ultimately came into the tax law because a wealthy white man wanted to pay less in his taxes. So here we are.
Why is that funny? I'm asking, why is it funny when you have to say a wealthy white man? Why is that funny?
Well, it's not funny. I don't know what she's laughing at. She's an idiot. But it's also what she's saying here is that Chinese, blacks, Latinx, Hispanics, all the rest, they want to pay more taxes because, and what she's also saying in some way, she's saying everybody but the whites are too stupid to know how to get out of taxes.
Let me play the rest.
But it's a provision that dates back to the 1920s and ultimately came into the tax law because a wealthy white man wanted to pay less in his taxes. So here we are, decades later, almost 100 years later, still dealing with this. I mean, one of the proposals President Biden originally had was for those making more than $1 million to pay income on their stock the same way as income on their wages. That didn't make it into the bill.
Wasn't the idea of capital gains tax, it was all meant to stimulate investment ultimately in the businesses of the country? Am I incorrect? Yeah. I mean, wasn't that the whole point?
What else would you need to encourage people to invest their money instead of sitting in it, leaving it in the bank or putting a mattress? You do something else with it. And so sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. And if it goes up and you sell it because you want to get out and maybe put your money in something else, they figure, well, let's give you capital gains tax, which is going to be lower than regular income tax, generally speaking. Even though it sometimes has been almost the same. Sometimes it used to be as high as 50%, I think. And short-term capital gains is definitely high. Mm-hmm. But long-term capital gains are specifically low to keep your money in there for a long time.
Yeah.
It has practical reasons, but let's listen to more.
Let me just ask you a question. So when they're talking about taxing unrealized gains, whether it's happening or not, the idea is that we're going to make you less racist by taking some of your money as you get wealthy before you actually cash in.
Well, they want to take some of the money. You've got your money sitting somewhere. Maybe it's in something that's not even going up or down. Who cares? It's just some money, but they want to take a piece of it. This is a form of a wealth tax, but it's very targeted. It's not the wealth tax I wrote about. And it's an unfair wealth tax. It's just designed to
racist. It's racist.
Well, it is kind of racist. Let's listen to the second part.
I think what underlies this kind of visceral reaction to it is, well, number one, as you pointed out, that the extremely wealthy have disproportionately had a lot to say about the way the tax code operates from the very beginning.
Yes.
But the broader philosophical issue, I think their argument is that their businesses and enterprises create jobs and generate wealth. And isn't that contribution enough?
They don't all generate jobs. What we saw during the pandemic is companies taking loans and firing workers. We see Bezos's tax rate lower than his warehouse workers. We see these billionaires creating problems that the federal government then has to solve, and the billionaires that create the problems don't want to pay their fair share of having created the problem. So no, there's not this, I mean, that's the rhetoric, right? That, we do all this good. No, they do good for themselves.
And before we let you go, just for people who haven't read your latest book, The Whiteness of Wealth, how does race enter into this?
Race is very relevant because when we look at who the people are who are not paying taxes. They are by and large wealthy white Americans. And it's wealthy white Americans who are behind the scenes pulling levers to get tax laws that benefit themselves. And who pays? Black Americans pay higher taxes because wealthy white Americans pay less.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry. She's wrong. The wealthy people who don't pay taxes are gay. Wealthy gay men don't pay taxes. Look at the numbers, lady. It's not white men, it's gay men. Go after the gay men. You see how sick it sounds when people do that shit? Tim Cook, one of the wealthiest men in America, gay. Go after the gays. It's the gays. It's a cabal. I mean, this is so.
I thought you get a kick out of that clip.
Oh, I like it, and it follows. I can follow it perfectly with John McWhorter. He wrote a book called Woke Racism, and for some unexplained reason, CNN let him on to talk about it with Michael Schmachanish.
Another vignette from the book. Put this up on the screen as well. A friend wrote on Facebook that they agree with Black Lives Matter. They agree. Only to be roasted by an anonymous person. Wait a minute. You agree with them? That implies you get to disagree with them. That's like saying you agree with the law of gravity. You, as a white person, don't get to agree or disagree when black people assert something. Saying you agree with them is everything bit as arrogant as disputing them. This isn't an intellectual exercise. This is their lives on the line. Your reaction?
Yeah, I feel condescended to by that. That is a person, I presume that person is not black, who thinks that their job as a good person in America is to accept absolutely anything that a black person says. And the problem is, if you accept absolutely everything that a black person says, you're dehumanizing them. You're pitying them. And pity is not honor. All people make mistakes, including people who are the descendants of African slaves brought to this country who endured slavery and Jim Crow and redlining. There's no such thing as perfect people. And to have this notion that anything a black person says must be bowed down to, I see how white people think of that as honoring something and as atoning for something. But that's not what this is about. It's supposed to be about helping, especially poor black people, with the problems in their lives. All of the rest of this is just a kind of play acting. And frankly, it's all extremely fake and condescending.
I was surprised that they let that on CNN.
Oh, they got to get rid of it.
By the way, one of the richest women in the world, gay. Oprah. That's just my assumption. I'm telling you, let's just turn this around right away. Let's prosecute him. Persecute him. Prosecute him. Okay, there's just one thing I wanted to talk with you about before we take a break, and that is this story that the right-wing media, I think it may have even launched on Tucker Carlson. I don't think I have a clip. You might have one. All of a sudden, everyone's losing their crap. And the story is the Biden administration is in talks to offer immigrant families that were separated during the Trump administration $450,000 a person in compensation.
I have the clip.
Oh, please. I want to hear the clips.
This is from, I believe, this could be PBS. Or I think it's PBS, but it's the border and the Trump and the payout.
The border and the Trump and the payout.
The Biden administration will try again to stop making asylum seekers wait in Mexico. The Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said today the Trump-era policy did cut border crossings, but he said migrants faced major violence in Mexican cities. Separately, it was widely reported the Justice Department is in talks to pay up to $450,000 per person to families separated at the border during the Trump administration.
Okay, so the way I read this story is, and some headlines even had reparations. They called it reparations, which, I mean, how did you take this story? What did you think when this came out? What do you think all of this is about? What is this story?
I really have no idea. I think it's silly. I mean, if it's actually happening, it was reported over and over again. I'm not sure what the point of it is. It looks like somebody, I think it's going to be money for somebody, some middlemen are going to get, there's a money grab of some sort. I don't know. I have not gotten any deeper than that. I do know you're right. The right wing's gone nuts about this story.
So here's what I think is going on, because I immediately, my training kicked in. I'm like, okay, everyone's saying this. where's this coming from? Well, the reporting came from the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal, in my mind, is more aligned with conservative America than lib America. Would you agree?
I would say more, yes, but it's not a right wing by any means.
Not a right wing by any means. However, what happened with this is, so people lost their crap. And it's like, oh my God, Black Americans lost their crap. They're like, what? They get reparations? What about our reparations? So there we go. That's a problem. And then people.
Well, that's what I think the use of the word reparation, because it's not a reparation.
It's not a reparation, but it was used intentionally.
The media picked up put that in there, I think, just to jack up the blacks.
I think this was a Republican Party operation.
Well, it could be.
And I'll tell you why, because I'm going to read from the source of this.
There are movies coming out.
I'm going to read from the source document where this came from the Wall Street Journal. I think you'll understand why I think the way I do. The Biden administration is in talks to offer immigrant families that were separated during the Trump administration around $450,000 a person in compensation, according to people familiar with the matter. As several agencies work to resolve lawsuits filed on behalf of parents and children who say the government subjected them to lasting psychological trauma, the Departments of Justice, Homeland Security, Health and Human Services are considering payments that could amount close to $1 million per family, though the final numbers could shift, the people familiar with the matter said. Come on. How insulting is this? They didn't even say
picked up.
They didn't even say officials in the White House. No.
Yeah.
People familiar with the matter is bullshit.
And you heard the report on PBS played as straight news.
Yep.
I know. It should be a violation of journalistic integrity to use people familiar with the matter. And they're all doing it.
It's
now.
even
Nobody
worse than
stops
that.
Them.
Here, this paragraph. The number of families eligible under the edible under the potential sediment. I'm losing it. What is edible under potential sediment? The number of families
sediment.
The number of families eligible under the potential settlement is expected to be smaller, the people said, as government officials aren't sure how many will come forward. Around 940 claims have so far been filed by the families, the people said. Get out of here. I've never seen it this bad. It's not just according to the people familiar with the matter. Now we just short it down to the people. The people said that. John, this is not journalism.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think this was, well, I know who said this is Trump. He's still in control. He's running the show.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda. In the morning.
It would definitely be a Trumpian style of maneuver.
of op, indeed.
We have a few people to thank and for show 1395. 5 more to go, and we're going to be to the magic number of 1,400. 1,400 actual shows. I want to mention at the beginning of the second reading is that we don't read notes from these donations. Once in a while, we will see something that's funny and we'll read it out of the blue. But if we read all these notes, we would be here all day, and that's what we used to do. And people that should know better, who have listened to the show for years, seem to keep forgetting this little fact. So I'm going to start reminding them for a while until I stop seeing people expecting us to read these notes.
Got to do it.
Matthew Smith's at the top of the list. He does say Happy Halloween. He's 99.99. He's in North Royalton, Ohio. Sir Kevin McLaughlin, the Duke of Luna and lover of American boobs, who seems to now be coming in every show.
He's a boob man.
He's the boob boy. And he's got 8008, along with Scott of the Tall Corn at 8008. Gary Blatt, 7777. Craig Cole.
Oh, I'm sorry. Scott of the Tall Corn, I need to mention, in heartbroken memoriam of my beagle companion, Wrangler. Aw.
Oh, poor
I'm a dog person now. So
yeah, you are now. What's the dog? You get that dog Whitey.
I break Adolf. I break for beagles. No.
Adolf. Is it Adolf? Is that what you finally call him?
No, I call him Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Listens better. He listens to that.
Brandon.
He listens to that.
We need more dogs out there named Brandon. Brandon, let's
go, Brandon.
Gary Blatt, 7777. Craig Kohler in Evansville, Indiana, 6502. Sir Jackson Knight, I say, of the Transistors in Levelland, Texas, 5150. Steve Duda in Austin, Texas, 5033. And Scott Nelson in Sir Scott in Council Bluffs, Iowa, 5001. Now, we do have $50 donors. This is a short list today, I should mention, for people out there. We've gone into a downturn. Daniel Bradley, $50 from Knoxville, Tennessee. Stephen Stein in Los Angeles, California. Jason Maurer in Portland, Oregon. Timothy Moore in Arlington, Texas. Herbert Hess in Spring, Texas. Jill Woods in Ocean Grove, Florida. Shane Grubb in Cleveland, Tennessee. Andrew Watson in Fairhope, Alabama. Tony Lang in Castle Pines, Colorado. William Carey in San Francisco, California. And last but not least, Megan Emery in parts unknown. Now, there is a note in here.
I have it. Stevie Duda.
And normally we wouldn't be reading this, but there's a couple parts in here that are worth reading.
Yes. Enclosed is from Stevie Duda. Stevie Duda. Do the bus stop here?
He wrote a check
she.
and he wrote
she. I think it's she. Enclosed is my first. Well, no, this is weird. Now it says my first knighthood payment. What?
Yeah, there you go. It's not a she,
but it says future Dame Stevie Duda. Well, let's find out. Enclosed is my first knighthood payment, $50.33 this time. Congratulations on 14 years. Sir Peter C. Norwood hit me in the mouth many times over the last decade, but it took COVID to get to my ears. I knew I would be all in once I started, and sure enough, that's true. My first show was Afghanistan, $13.79. I have no plans for stopping. My T-shirt should be arriving soon. Huh? Why are we reading this?
Well, just because I think this is the note where she says, or he.
About the vaccine scars? No?
John mentioned child vaccines are no longer visible. Back when I got mine, you got with I don't know. There's no reason to read this note.
Hey, anyway, future Dame Stevie Duda. Hey, thanks.
By the way, I didn't realize it. She mentions it in here, but your dog's name, Miss Phoebe Buffet, is a character in the show Friends.
You didn't know this?
No, I don't know the last names of the offbeat characters on the show. I never watched the show that much.
She's not offbeat. She's world famous. Yes. Yeah, she's named after... Are you outraged?
Yeah.
We want to thank
you should have named the dog Whitey.
Yeah. We want to... God, man. You're the worst. We want to thank these producers for producing episode 1395 of the best podcast in the universe, and everyone who came in under $50. Many do $49.99 because they know we will not read anything. Sometimes we pick a note out of the second half, but not underneath that.
Now, I will say this. The note I was thinking of was actually by some guy who's going to become a knight today. He's on the knight list. He wrote a long note, and in it, I'm not going to read the note. There's a $5 donation, but he wants us to say, he's going to be knighted. Mm-hmm. So I thought I would want to read this one thing on here, which says, okay, so all I'm going to read from this note. I have agreed with both of you 100% of the time in every episode.
You're not real. This is a troll. He's not real.
It has to be real. He's got a knighthood coming up.
Nobody agrees with us 100% of the time.
I'm going to read it again, and it's in all caps. It's way down on the spreadsheet. It's in yellow. He's got a birthday coming up today too.
Okay, it's
Sir Darko, and he says, I've agreed with you both. And I mean, everyone always says, They always, I like this. Even though we disagree with each other, somehow he agrees with both of us.
All the time.
How does that work? All right.
That's it?
I'm done. It's all yours.
Okay. We will be seeing him at the round table then, I presume.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Well, thank you all. Thanks for you coming in under 50 with the many different subscription programs which are sustaining donations. And again, thank you to our executive producers and associate executive producers for this episode. Value for value. Anyone can participate. It's real easy. All you got to do is determine for yourself how valuable this show has been and then put that into a number.
Dvorak.org/NA. It's a birthday.
And on the the calendar for today. We've got Anthony Vavick. We have Dorian Kerniski, who turns 37 today. Miles Virali, happy birthday to his smoking pot wife. Jessica turns 42. Son of a bloke, his dad, the Ohio bloke, turns 58 on November 2nd. Neil Jones, the clip custodian, and his wife Grace celebrate 18-year anniversary today, and they never had a fight. And finally, happy birthday to my sister-in-law, Lisa Markovich. Happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast in the universe. No, we only have, so we've got 2 nights. That's it. Just 1, 2, 1, 2. Here's the blade. There's 1. We need 1 more.
There you go.
And there's 2. Perfect. Stefan Kalawite. Come here, men gotta fix it. Dorian Kernitsky. All right, both of you have supported the No Agenda Show in the amount of $1,000 or more, or euros, or Deutschmarks, if you still had them. And that qualifies y'all to be up here on the podium. And I am proud to pronounce the KB as Sir Fight and Sir Darko of Rockledge. For both of you, we've got Hookers and Blow, we got Rent Boys, and we got Chardonnay. Along with that, a lizard person skull mug, liquid sunshine mixed with Appalachian moonshine, and a copy of Motley Crue's Too Fast for Love on vinyl to do the blow off of. Oh yeah, some sushi and sake, some Rubenesque women and rosé, some vodka and vanilla, bong hits and bourbon, ginger ale and gerbils. And there's always the mutton and mead. It's a fan favorite. It's a Knight and Dame favorite. Munch on that. Go to noagendanation.com/ring. Select all the sizes, everything you need, so we can get your handsome signet ring along with your wax to seal your important correspondence. So you can press that ring right in there. And, of course, your certificate of authenticity. And, as always, we thank you very much for supporting the No Agenda Show. And a big in the morning to all of you. And then we can go straight on to the meetups, man. We're moving along today.
No Agenda
As one of our producers said earlier, if you're writing long donation notes, you need to attend a No Agenda meetup. They're fun. They're cool. There's no hassle. There's no triggering. And the people are just beautiful.
This is Janet from the Jacksonville meetup. We love you guys. Thank you for all you do.
All right, this is Zach with the Jacksonville No Agenda meetup at Biscotti's. Just remember, through all these hard times, resist we much, we must, and we will much. About that, be committed.
This is Carl from the Jacksonville meetup. Here was an awesome group of people. So former executive producer, now long-term douchebag.
Hey, this is Cameron from the Jacksonville meetup. Off to get the job tomorrow, so wish me luck.
This is Dame Cece at the Jacksonville meetup. We're glad to be here. A great group of folks. We've had an awesome time. In the morning.
In the morning.
And douchebag Lee. This is Radu, producer and organizer. Good job, everybody.
Great job, Radu. This is Jeff from both Georgia and Florida. My Instanite check is in the mail.
Yeah, that's just one of the lies you'll tell us. We know what you're all about. That's Jacksonville, Florida. Now we go to Oregon, Local 33, in the middle of it all. Hello, Oregon. Come on in. Oregon, where are you? Hey, what's going on, Oregon? Hey, what is happening?
This is Portland Northwest meetup to Batcat Dad. Fan I helvete.
It's Georgiana and Sean in the morning.
This is Sean in the morning.
Hey, this is your French millennial producer who's actually American. I escaped to Spain, I escaped to Portugal, and I came back to the U.S. I'm at my first No Agenda meetup. Super happy to be here.
This is Scott in the morning. Thanks for keeping my amygdala small.
This is Berkeley and Lindsay staying sane in Portland and keeping the amygdala shrunken.
Hey, hey.
This is Scott in the morning.
Hello, this is Rachel in the morning. 69, dudes.
Oh, hello. Happy to be here among the free folk.
In the morning from Portland to Oregon, this is Charles, also known as Super Spreader on the stage when I'm stripping.
This is Brandon McNamee. It's very new to me, but I'm excited to be here.
Hi, newbie here. This is Laura Vincent. Hey, y'all.
All right. I remember that girl that said she was, the French.
Yeah, the French millennial producer. Yes.
She's the one who was floating around all over the world, just kind of bumming around everywhere, and somehow she's gotten her way back here.
Well, and then from France, and then I think she was through Turkey and all these other places.
She went everywhere.
She wrote us a note about it. But then of all places to land up in Oregon.
Yeah, really.
To me, that was like, oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
Who knows?
It's, I love that, though. I love hearing the millennial producers. They are the world. They are the future. They're the children that matter. I'm very, very happy that she's doing that stuff.
Yeah, if they'd only get a job.
Oh, John, she's got a job. Clearly, she can't. Well, maybe her parents are paying for it.
Wait, you think she's? Yeah, sure.
I don't know. I wonder. I wonder.
Like a trustafarian to me.
Oh, them's fighting words. Anyway, here's what's on the calendar for the meetups today. It's Halloween. It's the Spot the Spook meetup, which is already underway at Dudley Sports and Ale in the capital of spookdom. That would be Arlington, Virginia. The Texas Renaissance Fair Festival is underway. We've talked about that several times in the past couple of weeks. There's a meetup. It should be happening as we speak at the Polonia Polish Pub, and that'll be on the south side of the park near Falconer's Health. Moving to our next show day, Thursday, November 4th, the Denver area biweekly High Flyer meetup at 6:30 in Hangar 101, Lakewood, Colorado. And a new entry on the list for this coming Thursday, the Central Florida meetup, 5:30 at Hiatus Brewing in Ocala, Florida. On the way for November, my goodness, we have a long list. I'll just give you a couple. November 6th, Northeast Ohio, Joplin, Missouri, Coeur d'Alene. Coeur d'Alene? Where's that Coeur d'Alene?
Idaho.
Oh, Idaho. And Boston, the 7th, Philly, Myrtle Beach. On the 11th, Rock Hill, Merida, Missoula, Montana. On the 12th, Tennessee. The 13th, South Carolina, South Florida, Sunset Valley, Texas, Greater Sudbury, Ontario, Durham, North Carolina, Phoenix. I mean, this list goes on. I could read it all to you, but go to noagendameetups.com so you can see everything. There's going to be one around the world that is near you eventually, even Australia. We've had Macau recently, different places in Europe, in the Netherlands, in Germany, in Switzerland. Everywhere in the world, these meetups are taking place. It's something you have to have at least witnessed once in your life. Go ahead, take a chance. Columbus did. Go to noagendameetups.com if you can't find anything near you. Start one yourself. It's easy, and it's always like a party.
Sometimes you want to go hang out with all the nights and days. You want to be where you won't be triggered or held to blame. You want to be where everybody feels the same. It's like a party.
Like a party. End of show, I suppose.
I have 3.
Okay. I'll play mine. I only have one.
Okay.
I only have one.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Ooh, that's not bad.
That's not bad, right? I knew you'd like it. It's kind of contenderish.
Yeah, it's a Sophia sounding kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I got 3. I got hee.
Okay.
I got moi.
Mwah.
Okay.
And I got stay safe.
Good to see you. Please stay safe.
I think that's the one. You just can't get around a good stay safe.
No.
That's a very good one.
Good to see you. Please stay safe.
I feel good about that. Very odd. Facebook announced their name. Here's the clip short.
All right, tonight the company formerly known as Facebook is now called Meta. That's the new corporate name for the parent company overseeing Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger. The change comes amid all those allegations that Facebook has knowingly caused social harm on its platform.
Oh, no. By the way, she's out. The rumor mill is rife.
What?
That Nora and her $8 million salary in Washington, D.C. headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving the show back to New York. She can go back if she wants to. She'll keep her on for a while. She takes a cut in salary, maybe down to 4. Or she can leave, which is what's going to happen. They're going to bring in some guy for $2 million because of the cheap bastards at Viacom. They're going to drop the salaries of everybody at CBS, and that looks like a $2 million gig now, which was once a $12 million, $14 million gig.
Well, all I can say, it was nice working with you, John. So back to Facebook. It was weird.
You mean Meta? You mean Hebrew for dead?
I think it's she is dead, to be exact. It's not just dead, it's she is dead. Which for a fine Jewish boy is kind of a weird thing not to consider. Mr.
A
Zuckerberg.
good American Jewish boy, not that many speak Hebrew at all.
He speaks Mandarin.
Yeah, he does speak Mandarin. That's true, but doesn't mean he speaks Hebrew.
So for some reason, people are saying, "Oh, Curry, you nailed it." I don't think I did. Did I say anything about Meta? I don't recall.
I don't either.
But I do know.
What did you nail? You didn't nail the dead thing.
No, I didn't nail the name. I don't think I mean, we're obviously metaverse is what everyone's talking about.
You did say metaverse,
but I didn't say meta.
No, you didn't say
because if I had done that, I mean, Meta is going to META. It's going to look great on hats.
Red hats in particular.
Yes, because it stands for Make Everything Trump Again. I mean, it's so obvious. This mistake is so obvious.
Rehearsed.
I would like to share something from Entertainment Weekly from January 27th, 1995. 1990. How long ago is that? 1995.
It was 16 years ago.
No, 16. No.
Oh, 95. No, 20.
95, 2005. It's 30 years ago. 26 years.
Almost,
26.
Almost.
Here we go. From Entertainment Weekly. It may come as a shock, but MTV's erstwhile poofy-haired VJ is something of a cyber rebel. Back in the day, before big corporations like Viacom got a whiff of how cool the internet was with the kids, Curry posted a music news forum at MTV.com. But now, due to a legal battle over the name, he has relocated to Metaverse with Adam Curry's Metaverse. What you'll find there is a stockpile of regularly updated rock news and gossip, super slick graphics, and handy links to other rock sites on the net. Best of all, you'll sleep easier at night knowing that at least for one person, there's life after MTV's Top 20 video countdown. We give it a B+.
You had metaverse.com?
Yes, I did.
And you still have it?
No.
Why not?
Because, well, first of all, we went through this. I said Neil Stevenson was cool as long as we didn't, try to merchandise his trademark. But I had registered it. No one knew about these things back in the day.
No.
And I don't have it. It was sold along with the company. So I don't know. It doesn't work, so I don't know who has it.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was funny.
You're ahead of your time. We already knew that.
I got a B+. I just kind of like.
So what else? You got a B+.
I like the B+.
That's what I usually give this show
from my website. I get a damn B+. All right. Thanks, Entertainment Weekly. And by the way, the lawsuit between MTV Networks and Mr. Curry has been settled out of court. Neither party has any further comment.
Yeah. What was your further comment?
I had no further comment, except I started my first company right after that, which is kind of coincidental.
I have 2 clips left.
Okay.
One is an informational clip. We need to keep up with this. Cuomo update on PBS.
Yeah, this is great.
The sheriff in Albany County, New York, says there is overwhelming evidence for a sex crimes complaint against former Governor Andrew Cuomo. It charges him with groping a woman last year, a misdemeanor under state law. Sheriff Craig Apple acknowledged today there was confusion over Thursday's filing of the complaint, but he said that doesn't change the facts.
The way it went down has nothing to do with the case. The case is a very solid case. We have great information that was obtained. We met our burden as far as probable cause, and we have filed.
Cuomo resigned in August after a state attorney general's report accused him of harassing multiple women. Today, Attorney General Letitia James announced she will run for governor.
How come when liberal media outlets talk about someone resigning and they're a Republican, it's always resigned in disgrace? They always put that in there. They resigned in disgrace. But Cuomo just resigned. He didn't resign in disgrace because he's a Democrat.
That's a good point. They never resign in disgrace. He had his head held high.
Yeah.
Because he's just a regular old douche. Nothing wrong.
Now, my last clip is kind of I don't know if it's hilarious, but I promised it. It's one of 2 or 3 of these when he was in Scranton giving his speech in front of some old beat up old train. He rambled because he didn't have the normal time limits. And so he went and chatted.
This is what you were talking about on Thursday.
Yeah, Biden rambling.
And
this is
sorry.
Well, what were you going to say?
No, I started it by accident. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. My queuing is not up to par today. But the point is that this is the kind of thing that if given the chance, he will give these stories. And I have to say this, as a storyteller, and we're storytellers, Biden really stinks. He can't hold a story together. It's boring. It's rambles. He's a crap. He needs writers, this guy. But let's listen to one of Biden's fascinating stories. This is only a minute and 15 seconds. It seems like an eternity.
And, it's interesting. I grew up not very far from Bobby, the senator, where he grew up. It was about a total of, if you add it up, I think it's about 6 blocks. And his dad and I were about 18 years apart, and we're 17 years apart, so it's like a continuum going down here. But I just want you to know, we went to the same schools, the same parish, just a few years apart, take a few years. And Scranton is where I played shortstop at the Greenwich Little League in the first year it was put up. My dad helped build the field down there.
Oh, please.
And I spent a lot of time at Simmy's buying penny candy and Hank's Hoagies on Woodlawn Street, watching movies of the Roosie on the weekend and trying to reenact all they did. And when you watch those movies, I think I was told, I don't know if it's true, I was the only kid in my era that I was able to walk across the lackey on that pipe that was just above the thing. If you fell in the lackey, you were a lackey. You were in trouble. But anyway.
Ooh.
You know what it reminds me of? I don't know if anyone, they don't do this bit that often on Family Guy, but once in a while they do it. They let Meg talk at the table to tell what was your day like today, Meg?
Oh, it's always boring.
Incredibly boring discussions. They all leave.
Joe Biden is the new Meg. I kind of like that.
It's Meg.
Yeah, that works.
Meg Griffin.
I have, all right, one more clip, shorty, just because it's anti-Maxine. This is about the purge. The purge, January 6th. We need a commission. She was on the rules committee, some hearing. And all of a sudden she's like, bah, I've got to say something because I'm Aunt Maxine.
You know, I am struck by all of this false talk about bipartisanship. I am absolutely struck in the way that it is hard for me to even explain what it means to try to work with people who have targeted you for being killed. Our Capitol was invaded by those who came to kill us. They looked for Nancy Pelosi. He's criticizing Nancy Pelosi. They looked for her in order to kill her, and they came armed to kill most of us. But they talk bipartisanship. They don't know what bipartisanship is. If they want us to overlook the fact that they don't even support the investigation of those who invaded our Capitol and the members of Congress who worked with them, and they talk about bipartisanship, I want to tell you, I don't appreciate that at all.
They came to kill us. They came to kill Nancy Pelosi. I love that. I love Maxine.
What a stick.
She is too funny, man. She is too funny.
She's an embarrassment.
Just so everybody knows, as we take off for today, according to Pew studies, this kind of surprised me, but not really, I guess. The total number of Americans who read an online newspaper? Any thoughts?
Well, it depends on I don't know how they define an online newspaper, but I would say 70%.
Oh, no, I'm talking about absolute number in America.
Oh, 100 million?
15 million.
Well, I'm way off.
Of the top 50 news websites, 15 million. No wonder they're worried about Substack and podcasts. Dude, they've got no juice. This show, we got the juice.
Yeah, we got the juice. That's true. We got the juice.
We got the juice. We got lots of juice coming up. AI cooking. Episode 17, the automated atrocities. That is a podcast with GWIFF and comic strip blogger. I think I'm going to stick it around for that one. An AI podcast. We got some Pure Blooded coming up for you. Neil Jones with something very scary and dangerous, which is perfect for your spooktacular evening. And Lars von Retriever with
the Foreigner thing coming up.
Pure Blooded. I don't know.
We don't know who Pure Blooded is?
I do, but I don't have it. For some reason, I don't have it.
You're going to hear, people should be listening to this after the show. This is unbelievable. All the clips, but there's one and that's just like, wow.
Coming to you from the heart of Texas Hill Country in FEMA Region number 6. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from Northern Silicon Valley, where I remain, I'm John C. Dvorak.
Please remember us at Dvorak.org/NA as we return on Thursday for more media deconstruction. Until then, adios, mofos, and such!
And trick or treat.
is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior.
Can I just get you on the record that you don't think Barack Obama is a Satan-worshiping baby blood drinker?
But we're going to win, and we're going to win big. You just watch.
Officials say Coleman confessed and claimed he's enlightened by QAnon and Illuminati conspiracy theories, which made him believe his wife had passed her serpent DNA to their children.
This reptilian theory, which basically says that there are individuals on planet Earth that are lizards sent here to do harm.
You never sweat, like physically. I just turned off the thermostat. No.
The bomber believed in lizard people and a so-called reptilian conspiracy.
Are there people in the Republican Party who think we're sucking the blood out of kids?
The crux of the theory is this belief that you are secretly saving the world from this satanic cult of pedophiles and cannibals.
Supposed to be a bad thing or a good thing? I mean, if I can help save the world from problems, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to put myself out there.
Scary. Dangerous.
LGB. 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 They say LGB everywhere. I go. LGB. What it means, I don't know. LGB. Whatever it is. LGB. Kamala, help me, please. Please.
All righty then.
LGB.
That's let's go, Brandon. Right?
LGB. This means let's go, Brandon. Go. LGB.
Sounds like let's go, Brandon, I guess.
LGB. All right. Let's go, Brandon.
I am Cornholio.
Chant LGB. Right wing and left wing. LGB. Oh, you know the thing. LGB. If you don't sing, got back. LGB. And you play black. LGB. Let's go, Brandon. LGB.
Let's go, Brandon.
LGB. Let's go, Brandon. FJB. Let's go, Brandon. I'm Joe Biden, and I forgot this message.
The best podcast in the universe.
Adios, mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Good to see you. Please stay safe.